All right, welcome. Who we got today? We've got a couple people in here to start. Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about some of the new Castille cards. I'm joined by Derek, as usual. Say hi, Derek.
Hi.
Derek's going to be playing some Montaigne for this opening game. I'm going to be playing Castille, and we're going to get 2 games tonight. Just 2. Don't be greedy. So I'm going to open. We're going to show you some of the new cards coming out. Prototypes of the new cards coming out, because nothing here is final at all. This doesn't represent the final product. Anything could change or nothing could change. It's really going to depend on how the process of testing goes and what the Invisible College feedback is. But we're going to reveal some of the stuff we've been working on since Gen Con here. We've got, these have already been revealed on our Discord, but the new leader Sanjay and the approach deck version of Celine Elgato. So the art here is temporary. We're going to get new art for these characters to show their transformation over time. First off, talking Sanjay. Sanjay was slated to be a villain and was selected. I was actually surprised that he beat out Lorenzo. I was hoping Lorenzo. I was convinced that Lorenzo was going to get the win. So when Sanjay took it, I was pretty surprised. But now we have a villain leader. He's also a duelist. Why is he a duelist? Over time, we see characters take on new attributes. We see different sides of their personality. There's only so much that we can show on one card. Sanjay has been a silent schemer working from the shadows. But now, with some of the things that are happening in 5 Sales, which we're going to hear about very soon in some of the upcoming stories, you're going to see Sanjay's motivation to step out from the shadows, pick up his rapier, and start doing some business on the street. So first thing, he is a very skilled duelist. Sanjay's gambled combat cards have +1 riposte. It'll give him some more survivability. When Sanjay's challenge is refused, you collect a renown from his location. So don't refuse his challenge. Unless there's no renown there, then you can afford to do it. He's only 2 combat.
And that's passive?
That's a passive.
So you're telling me he can grab 2 renowned?
If you refuse.
If you refuse?
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Take the fight. Play a parry out.
Goodness.
He's got 8 resolve right now, which is, juicier than most of the other leaders in core. In fact, juicier than 3 out of 5 of the leaders in core. But we'll see how that shakes out. He might need to come down with that built-in +1 riposte. He's got a city action. He's still a schemer. He never stopped scheming. Mm-hmm. All right, but now he's doing it a bit more up front. He can target an opposing character. If their controller has fewer cards in hand than you, Sanjay issues an influence challenge to that character. So you might want to play some cards that pump up his influence to make that a bit spicier. He's also only 5 crew cap, so he's not going to be able to run as efficient of a team as Celine was able to, and he has 6 panache. Also, 3 finesse. He can last in a duel, so we can get 3 gambles, 3 +1 riposte potentially. I think it's something like 2/3 of the existing Castille cards don't have a dash riposte, and 1/3 do, something like that. So Sanjay will be able to command a lot of +1 riposte. Celine is a 4 resolve and then a 2/2/2 down the board. Pretty average, a good jack of all trades. And Celine is still a scoundrel pirate Castille. Today, I actually swapped Celine in and took Raton out, because that way I still had my Scoundrel Pirate character. So Celine has a reaction. After an enemy moves to this location, you can move Celine to any location because nobody catches the cat burglar. Mm-hmm. And then city action, you can engage Celine and you can pressure their location with finesse, and you succeed even if tied, and you can claim it. And that's awesome. So Celine brings an alternate claim to the table. We'll see how that feels. We've also revealed this card, When Least Expected. This is a great tool for Lorenzo. We want to give Lorenzo some love, and also just the duelists a bit more love, a bit more tools, but not too much, because they're pretty potent. This one's pretty simple. 66 initiative, no panache. Add renown to 2 locations, docks, and forums. And you can engage to get a finesse challenge. If you're a duelist, it can only be refused by discarding a card, which Sanjay's going to love, because then he's got more cards in hand than you and can issue a influence challenge. Mm-hmm. Next, we're going to talk about some attachments that we have. We have the Torres Cloak. I've got 2 of these in the deck today. It's an offhand, may only equip to your duelist, so it's running really close to where Main Gauche is. But Main Gauche is only a 2 riposte on the RPT. This is a 1/1/2. It's got a really cool reaction.
And it costs 0.
And it costs 0. Yeah. I think this is going to either compete with, our hope is that this competes with Main Gauche, or maybe you run both of them. We love offhand. You have a reaction on this. When equipped participant's adversary would resolve a maneuver or technique, you can engage this card to cancel the effects unless they discard a card. So we're giving them the poison choice. They're going to pick the one that's less bad for them. But if they discard cards, you're feeding right into how Castille can get some advantages. And this could still be great with a Celine leader-centered deck where you're running your duelists, and that way you can have approach deck Sanjay, who, when they discard a card from that, gets you to draw a card.
Yep.
Elgato's Mask. This one might be in a slightly generously balanced state right now. We were just discussing it. Every faction is, at some point, probably going to end up with a unique attachment that is +1 influence, some special item from the faction. And you've seen this already with Tabard of the Fallen Musketeer giving +1 influence. You've seen this with the Red Scepter giving +1 influence. And now you're seeing it here. We don't have art yet. Very sad. We'll get it eventually. The equipped character gains Scoundrel. And then it has a gambling technique. Whoa, what's that? We've never talked about gambling techniques or gambling maneuvers in public before. We tested these with Tooth and Claw. They didn't make the cut, and we wanted to bring them into Fate and Fortune. Bring the gambling into Fortune. Yeah, see how he did that there? So gambling techniques are techniques that you can only use when you have gambled the combat card you're playing that round. So if you gambled your combat card, you can use the gambling technique. And it says, if you have greater finesse than the adversary, reveal 2 random cards from their hand. If any of them were attachments, discard them, because the cat burglar will rifle through your pockets and steal what they can. What's the dog doing?
So she's mauling poor Mista.
Oh, yeah, she's got one of the Mista plushies. What's the dog doing? And, of course, this has arguably one of the best RPT lineups in the game, which is 1, 2, 1. That really just blocks 3, sends 2. So it's like a tree. It's like a what was it? What's the faith cards? -3/2. Tending the Wounded. It's like Carnival. It's like Fraternité. Except all those cards are -3/2. This is the first time that you've been able to block 3 and send 2 and not have a dash on one of the 3 values.
Which means that you can use Main Gauche. It means you can use Sanjay.
Yep.
It means you can do both.
Yep, and even Mista is -3/2. Yeah. So this is the first time we're touching that, and we'll see how it goes in testing. Might be generously balanced. I'm really excited by it. I think it's a fun card.
Maybe able to go toe to toe with Yevgeny.
Yeah, just block 3, send 2, and with a riposte on there, you would actually block 4, send 3 if you played that with Sanjay right now. If you gambled it.
If you gambled it, yeah.
Yep. Next ones we'll talk about. I've got 4 more cards to talk about. Curious. I've got 2 copies of Curious, and I've got 2 copies of Passionate. So the other thing with the Fate portion, you're going to see a lot more Virtue and Hubris in this set. Every faction is going to have 3 cards that are either Virtue or Hubris. We're going to see neutral cards because we're focusing on that as part of our theme. Curious is a Virtue. This is a really cool card. Look at that RPT. Look at that. 101 RPT. Not great. But it's got a city action on it. Wound your performer. Move to an adjacent location controlled by an opponent. Curiosity killed the cat. So you got to see what's over there. Somebody else has it, right? You're going to take a wound. You're going to move over there. It also has a gambling maneuver. You can wound your performer for +2 riposte. So that would turn this card into a 3/0/1. But if you take the net wound, it kind of shakes out to a block 2, send 4. So it's another avenue, kind of like how Golder Steel's a 2/0/2, block 2, send 4. Cat's Glass is a 2/0/2. So this could be cool.
And a movement for 0 is crazy. I mean, yes, you have to take a wound.
And it has to be to a location controlled by an opponent.
Yeah, but move for 0 is powerful.
This is the card I'm actually most worried about. And of course, gambling maneuver. You can only use that maneuver if you gamble the card. If you draw this card, that's kind of the built-in cost. If I draw this card, I have a card that only moves me. And I could pitch it for money if I don't really want to move. Maybe I do want to move, but then I've got 1/0/1 on the RPT. So people have ways to cancel maneuvers. That's really going to hurt. Passionate's our next one. Passionate is a very good card right now. It's got a duelist reaction, a pirate reaction. The duelist reaction, after your performer intervenes, unguard them. Pirate reaction, after your performer's challenge is accepted, if their adversary intervened, unguard your performer. So stand-up effects, particularly related to combat, and it's a 1 cost. I worry a little bit about 1 cost unguard effects. We're trying it out to see how it plays. It is trait locked. The RPT 023 might need to come down a bit.
Yeah,
We'll
the other one cost stand-up effect that comes to mind is Gallant Deeds, which stands up you and your opponent in Montaigne.
Easy trade.
So,
but frankly, I'm going to be honest, I never see anybody use Gallant Deeds for the city action. I've seen it like a couple times.
It's a 1-2-2.
We're going to use that RPT all day.
What I typically use it for is I will use it to stand up a fighter, and I will use it to stand up a fighter opponent that I'm going that I want to kill anyway. So okay, you can have your very high influence character run away now that they're standing up. You can intervene into this other character that I desperately want to kill, but either way, that high influence character is going to go away.
Yeah, probably.
On his feet or off them.
I think Gallant Deeds has some room. I just typically end up dropping it for that 1/2/2 RPT. Because who doesn't love it? Yeah. 2 more cards, these are the last 2. Proper Drama. So Proper Drama is part of our Triumvirate. We have Life in the Canals, which has a Scoundrel Maneuver, Pirate Maneuver. We have Gold or Steel, which has a Duelist Maneuver, Pirate Maneuver. And here we are with our Scoundrel Maneuver, Duelist Maneuver card. Both of these are going to mess with your ability to gamble in different ways because they all kind of find a way to get your hand size up a bit. So the Scoundrel Maneuver is if the adversary gambles during their next round, you choose their combat card. So you're putting them in a position where they're probably going to play a card from hand, which is great because then they have less cards in hand than you do. And if they do choose to gamble, you can choose their combat card, which could really be helpful when they pull an Opulence.
That's true.
And then you just make them play that Opulence and be really sad.
Yeah, or a not today, you go away now, and I don't have to deal with you anymore.
Please leave.
Please leave. Bye-bye, Evgeny.
So there's some cool tech there. I'm interested to see how it goes. Duelist Maneuver, the adversary cannot gamble during their next round. So it's actually the same technique for Mista, just only for Duelists and only on this card. And then we have Wily. Wily's in an interesting place. So it says, Maneuver, if the adversary is absent or was destroyed, +2 riposte, or claim this location. So we've been in that position, all of us, where you're trying to kill somebody. You do it, but they played Matchlock Musket, or they played Fight Through the Pain, and now you've got like 5-6 threat to deal with because they also use the +1 thrust on a technique or blew up their throwing knife, and now you're sad. That's where Wily comes in, and we're probably going to see cards like this for each faction. A card that at least some of them we're actually seeing if we can fit it into every faction, but a card that has Maneuver that lets you walk away from that sad fight. So you can +2 riposte, which is just a fancy block for Castille. It's a Castille flavored block, and you can end up blocking 4 of that final strike that they send you, or if they went out with a whimper and not a bang, you can just claim the location. So I've only got 1 copy in this deck, and I'm eager to test it. But those are all the cards that are currently in testing for Castille. We'll probably give the same treatment to Eisen once they're ready to go. Well-equipped too. Hate well-equipped. Well-equipped scares me.
Yes, well-equipped is pretty nasty.
All right, so I think we're going to get started here. I have the Castille deck that Tom built and I was playing last week. And what did I do? I ruined it. I ruined it by changing 25% of the cards. So I put in a lot of the new stuff. Passionate's in here. And did I make good changes on the things that I swapped in and out? Probably not. But we're here to just kind of throw some cards and have fun.
Yeah.
So let's get started. We're going to do day 1 here. And do you want to fire up our city deck? Give it a little shuffle and fire it up.
There we go. All right, no trouble.
I've got leader Sanjay. He's playing Odette. And Derek made some changes to his deck this time. So we're going to see
This is also after a conversation with Tom. Tom talked to me a few days ago and said, okay, I have to try Montaigne just to try my hand at it, because he said it was something that he had the least experience with, but he's played a few games with me, and that sort of excited him, which I'm very happy about. And he introduced me to a thought that, okay, what if instead of Montaigne as a kill faction, Montaigne as an intimidation faction, as a way of doing a protection racket, where again I do what Montaigne does and I just pile up everything on one location, but instead of aggressively trying to kill everything, I only kill at targets of opportunity and intimidate the rest into going away.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see how it goes. Worth noting, I did not use anything that Tom suggested. I took the theme and used my own experience to ride with that theme.
I trust you. We're going to see what you do. So we've already set up the city for day one. We've got Object of Wonder at the docks. We have Echo at the forums, and we have the Duckfoot pistol at the Bazaar. Who doesn't love the Duckfoot? Best attachment of the game, by far. So let's get our day. We're planning for day one. Let's get our approach together. And now, everything just went out the window.
I'm gonna double check. Oh yeah, movement shenanigans. And Echo is a good fighter. He's a pirate. He's not a duelist, so he can get some pirate shenanigans from you.
We're gonna do something different. Is it good? Probably not. Is it gonna be fun? Very likely.
Very likely. All right, I am.
We got changing an award-winning deck. It's a bold choice, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah.
I don't know who that's in reference to, but I think we both need the luck. I think
Yeah.
it needs to pay off for both of us.
All right, I am probably making an unoptimal decision. However,
Here's the thing,
I'm
Harold. I don't even think that I want to see Duckfoot Pistol on Catane, because Catane will just shoot himself in the foot twice with it. It did recently just clear a whole room, or clear a whole guy from a room, rather.
clear one whole dude.
All right, you ready?
But the barrel wasn't pointed backwards at Horatio, so
Yeah, not that time.
Not that
Horatio
time.
gained the leader trait temporarily.
yeah.
All right, so I've got Castilian Caper and Lorenzo de Zapata today. I'm going to pull these out of the sleeves because we learned our lesson. So Castilian Caper's coming in at a lightning fast 93,
Yep.
which I love.
Yep.
I hate that you have Horatio. He's my least favorite. So I'm going to add one renown to 2 different locations with no renown. And here's the thing. We've done this enough. You're going to add a renown to a location
No
with
renown.
no renown, which means
Yeah.
every location's getting a renown.
Yep. I'm glad that I didn't grab Gillian because I figured that you would be going really hardcore violence.
I was
So
actually...
I figure I gotta get my own violence board.
I was thinking about grabbing when least expected, just so Lorenzo can come kick you in the teeth. But I thought that would be a little too predictable. And then I looked at his very high finesse and said, I'm going to steal some renown today. I'm going to grab my 6 cards and see what I've got. And then I've got the first action here.
You sure do.
Oh, man. There's decisions here. Okay. Well, I've got this new leader, and I don't quite know how to play him yet. And Echo's a merc, and he's available. But I think what I'm going to do is move up with Lorenzo and make a statement.
Okay.
So Lorenzo's going to move up to the forums.
All right. I'm gonna double check Lorenzo.
So he can...
Yeah. So you are the first player. And he has... Okay. So
not an effective
discarding
reaction, but he's
combat.
got a technique that can basically let me discard.
Yeah.
You have a choice to make, yeah.
Oh. So...
Echo is a pirate.
Echo is a pirate.
Very good point. Was the better option mustering like a Madre or a Lucas? Probably, assuredly.
Okay. I am going to put Horatio at the docks after double checking Castilian Caper. Yep.
I see. Very interesting.
I would not want you to have free money.
Yeah, I see what you're doing here. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh man, these are tough choices. Let's We could stress you out. That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, show off the new cards.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a new card to show off just yet.
All right, we'll start drawing some cards and showing them.
Let's Oof. We're gonna go ahead and play Mista on Lorenzo.
Ooh.
Lorenzo's got Mista equipped.
All right.
My favorite cat in the game.
Okay, I am going to move Odette to... Actually, before I move Odette, hand on the piece, I'm going to chuck... Bleed Out. And
I smell like a come hither coming.
yeah, legendary reputation.
Mm.
And I'm gonna grab Object of Wonder. Yoink.
Oh, she's got it now.
She's got it now.
Quick on the draw.
Just in case you put a ratio down, he can come back.
Let's put me in a spot here. What do you have over there? Oh, that's fun. We got a city action to do stuff. Very cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and give a Gyagos Blade to Sanjay. Sanjay has a sword now.
Goodness.
So now we can reveal 3 cards when he gambles.
Goodness. All right. Well, boom. Odette moves up.
Brilliant. I'm going to go ahead and play Taunt, and I'm going to pitch Improvising for it. Target an adjacent enemy character, move them to your performance location. Come here, Odette.
Oh, no.
I'm going to pull Odette over to my side.
All right.
Or rather, my location, excuse me.
All right. Well, Odette is going to turn sideways. And is going to get... Tough choice. Jean.
Ooh, okay.
And Echo goes away.
We'll go ahead and walk Sanjay up here.
All right. I am going to use... Odette's city action to move an adjacent duelist over. Doesn't necessarily have to be a musketeer.
Oh, we're all here now.
We're all here now. As we intended.
All right. Well, we've got 2 guys standing up. You're ahead of material. At this point, if I pass, I'm in trouble. So, how many cards do you have in hand over there?
5.
Yeah, I didn't manage my hand size very well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try out Sanjay.
Let's try out Sanjay. May I have a look at his equipment again?
Yeah, he's got the Gyagos Blade, so he can gamble an additional card.
Penalty to block, which he doesn't care about because he does riposte. He doesn't do blocks.
Yeah, actually, it's really cool to be able to use that technique on there. All right, so Sanjay's going to engage, and we're going to issue a challenge to, who do you think? Odette. But here's the thing. Sanjay's only 2 combat. So it's just 2 coming at you. If you decline, I'm going to collect a renown from this location, though.
All right. Well, Jean runs in the way, as he is ought to do. And a challenge is accepted when he moves. And let's see where it goes. I'm behind on gambles because you have 3 gambles and I have to start. So you're actually 2 cards ahead of me on the gamble game because I have to do the first card.
Yes, you do. Yep.
So, yeah, let's see where this goes. Mastercraft Rapier or Broken Time.
The answer is Broken Time.
The answer is always Broken Time.
See, now if I had a Torres Cloak right now,
it would be a very different game.
It'd be over.
Yep, so he gets an extra 2. Avante, Relentless. Oh, obviously.
The answer is Relentless. Yeah. So you're a total of 2 riposts. So we're going to bring all this back to Mr. Sanjay.
And an extra 3.
And you're an extra 3 thrusts. So 1, 2, we got 5 on me. Ouch, I hate that. We're going to gamble. So I'm going to reveal 3 cards because the equipped character gambles during a duel, reveal an additional card. So 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go with the gold or steel here. So I'm going to sink these cards. And I'm going to use, I am a pirate and a duelist. So I've got choices here, which means I'm definitely going to use the duelist maneuver on this. Duelist maneuver is if your participant has more finesse than the adversary, draw a card unless the adversary suffers a wound.
You may draw a card.
I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. I love that. And then I'm to riposte, but this card was gambled, so it gets +1. So I'm going to take 1 and 2 and 3 and send it back to Jean. I'm going to block nothing, and then I'm going to thrust 2, which means I end up taking 2.
Ooch. Oof.
Ooch.
My bones.
Ooch is right. And you got a big pile of 5, of which you can take 2. So.
Yep. All right. So let's. I do have a temptation to just take the 2 because I know the more I fight Sanjay, when you have all of these really scary gamble abilities, the more likely that Jean is to toast out. But I have the object of wonder if Jean dies, but if I manage to get a lot of wounds on Sanjay, then so much the better. And darn it, I want to see you gamble some beta cards.
Go for it.
So, Second Avante or...
Oh,
okay,
man.
so do I want to send 2 or do I want to send 3?
You should send 3 over sending 2.
Absolutely.
But the most you take is 2 anyway. That's like a pretty safe position to be in, and he's got all these nasty cards. You can riposte a lot, but the most you can do is 2. And don't forget to give me 1 more.
Oh.
Yep,
Okay.
thank you. That's your thrust.
Ow.
I'm going to go ahead and...
And you know what? To sweeten the deal, I'm going to use his technique.
Hey,
for an extra
+1
one.
thrust. All right. I'm going to reveal 1 and 2 and 3. I got roll the bones, but Sanjay is not a scoundrel.
He isn't
But-
nefarious enough.
It's still going to be... He's. I think he's actually too nefarious to be a scoundrel. He's a villain.
He's a villain.
So here's roll the bones. I'm going to reveal 2 cards. Actually, so here's what it says. It says, gamble for free. So I actually get to gamble 3 cards because when equipped character gambles during a duel, reveal an additional card. So I get to reveal 3. Hey, we got Curious. That's too fun. I can't use the maneuver on it, though, because it's not broken time. I'm just going to add stats, which means I'm totally going to add these stats together. Those are the stats. Unless, you know what would be really fun? We're going to do this.
Bounce it all.
I'm going to bounce it all, because I'm going to repose 1, 2, 3, and 4 over to you.
Oh,
1,
that
2, 3,
is-
4. And then we'll sync these 2, because that was one of the beta cards. I want to see that later.
All right. I feel
I'll
bad
do
that I
6 as
didn't
well.
have Jean just eat it, but again, we're this isn't a
Yeah,
tournament
you're
format.
a generous opponent,
I am a
letting people
generous
see the
opponent.
cool stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Gallegos played on a combat leader is really scary.
all right. I am going to, because I'm cards from hand now. I'm going to throw Gallant Deeds for its
He's doing it.
3/3. Yeah. We know it. We love it. Gallant Deeds. Won't go wrong. And boom. Jean is probably going down, but we'll see how effective this back and forth is.
Yeah, and frankly, you were
with
generous
Sanjay.
to me by not just ending it with 2.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
I want to see those gambled cards.
Third and final gamble. 3. All right, what are we going to do? I got 3 in front of me, and my goal is survival. Surthrival would be better. Now, this is going to be my second improvising, and I hate that, but I like being alive better. So I'm going to take that as my third and final gamble. I will repose 1, 2, 3, and then I will thrust 1.
Okay. Rather than spend more cards from hand, I'm just going to let Jean toast out.
Oh, he toasts. How many cards do you have in hand?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in hand. Tier 3.
I'm only 3, so
Yes.
you're not in range of me doing a influence challenge with the city action.
Yes. So 4. Actually, you know what? I am going to pitch Master of the Valaroo style from hand and get my 1, 2,
Gross.
3 bounce back.
Gross.
And Jean goes back to the locker.
Don't you get to draw a card? Are you using the maneuver?
Yep. And
Yeah.
if he's engaged, I get to draw a card. So
Yep.
I'm going to get a prop
Well,
off
if it's
this.
engaged, it's -1 cost. You get to draw a card, and I get +1 thrust.
You do against a dead man.
You've sent me 3, I see.
I have.
Here's
I
what I'm
have
gonna do.
that.
I'm going to play a card from hand
Goodness.
I'm going to play Wily. My only copy of Wily.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'll bring
very cool.
I'll bring Wily up because some new people have jumped in. Here's Wily. So Wily is just going to riposte 2, so I'm just going to remove these 2, which means I'm taking 1. So Sanjay has 3 out of 8 wounds on him. I can bring Sanjay up 2 just so people can look at him. So Wily says maneuver if the adversary is absent or was destroyed, in which this case Jean was destroyed. So this is a great card if somebody like Daniela uses her technique to move. It's if they send a big thrust you and they die, kind of like he just sent 3. This card can give me +2 riposte or claim the location. Here's what I'm doing. I'm claiming the location.
Oh, man.
I'm not using the plus riposte. I'm taking the 1 damage and I claim the location. So
the location is yours.
Yeah, let me put my little thing on there.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got these cards uploaded. We can show cool stuff.
Oh.
All right. So I ended up getting that location mostly due to Derek's generosity. And then these dueling lines will go away.
We want to see cool cards.
We do.
We want to see them.
We're going to take it seriously in our second game. But we got to see the new leader poke people. We got to see a Wily come in.
All right. I know now that Lorenzo is going to turn sideways at Odette, and Horatio is going to probably have problems. So I'm going to pitch Heroic Intervention because they're at the same location. It doesn't do me any good. And Odette is going to Battle of Wits Lorenzo with her new incredibly stylish 1, 2, 3, 4 influence. And Lorenzo is a legal target because he has 1 influence.
All right, I'm going to use a reaction. After an opposing character issues a challenge, equip this card to your character's location. So I'm using Mista's reaction. After an opponent opposing character, I'm going to move Mista over to Sanjay. Would I love to use Mista to defend myself with Lorenzo? Yes. Is that actually? Here's the thing: I could do that, and then when Mista dies, she's just going to go to she won't die. She'll get sunk. No, you know what? I'm just gonna make Mista a viable target here. Let's have fun with it. So let's leave Mista on, and if Mista bites it, Mista bites it. But
if Mista runs away,
Mista has 9 lives.
So
I think she actually does die every time. It just keeps coming back.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
that would be really funny if only do this 9 times.
So I cannot possibly decline this duel because then I will get yeeted and go to the locker.
Yeeted and deleted.
Which means I must accept. And we're in a position here where Horatio could take out Sanjay, and that would be really funny.
It would be really funny.
So we're going to go ahead and gamble. Let's reveal 2 cards.
All
1,
right.
2. I got raise the stakes and roll the bones. We're going to roll the bones today.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he is a scoundrel.
Yep. And my restricted hostilities is 1, so I can do 1 to you each time. So I'm going to reveal that card, and then I'm going to reveal 1, 2.
It is on leader.
Yeah. 2, 3. I've got life in the canals. I can't use any of the maneuvers here, so I'm really just looking at the RPT. And I think the best RPT to help me out here is going to be this Torres cloak. So we'll combine those 2. So I've got a total of 2 riposte, 1 parry, and we're just going to Odette. 1 parry, and then 2 thrust. 1 and 2, which means I'm just taking this 1 wound at the end. I'm going to use this technique. The adversary cannot gamble during the next round. You must play a card from hand.
Goodness, that is less than ideal.
We'll go there.
Oh, man, I don't like
sunk.
that at all. All right, well, the most I can take is 1. And now both of these are too expensive for me to use, given my extremely depleted hand. Can't gamble. All right, well, at least it's only usable once. I'm going to play Defending Honor from hand.
Hey.
Bounce 1, thrust 3.
I mean, most you can take is 1.
The most
so
I can take is 1.
Go for Reckless Abandon when possible, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I don't suppose you wanted to use the Object of Wonder to save Jean.
Oh, whoops.
Did you want? You don't have to. It's a
no.
mag.
I want her to have these stats.
Then good. Okay.
Good call. Good call.
Oh no, I wasn't calling you out on that. I actually didn't even know. I was just pointing out that you could have. I'm gonna gamble again. We're gonna reveal 2 cards. I've got the Gaia Ghost Blade, and I've got the Knight of Drinking. If I play Gaia Ghost Blade, I'm gonna die. So I'm not gonna play the Gaia Ghost Blade. I am instead gonna play the Knight of Drinking.
All right.
This is gonna riposte 2, parry nothing, thrust 1.
Goodness.
Which means I'm gonna take 2 wounds, and Lorenzo will have a total of 3 wounds on him. I have to update our tracker on leader wounds, but I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to use my technique. Reveal and replace the top card of the adversary's deck. The card is Tend the Wounded. I don't want you to use that. I'm now going to replace it, which means put it right back to where it was. When your next round begins, you may play that as your combat card by discarding a card. If you don't, take a wound. So if you play that card, you have to discard one from hand. Otherwise...
And it's my only option?
You may play that card as your combat card by discarding a card from hand. If you don't, you have to take a wound, and you have to play a card from hand.
All right. Actually, may I? Real quick. I'm just refreshing
right here.
Oh, yes. They may play it as their combat card by discarding a card if they do not wound them. Okay, so even if I play from hand, I'm wounded.
I suppose you could gamble, I think, is normal.
Yeah, but then I would still be wounded.
You'll still be wounded. Either way, you'll take a wound or discard a card. Here's the thing. That
all right. Well, it's good, so I will... I mean, I have to do both. Well, they end up being the same either way. Oh, actually, no, this would send more. But, okay, I will discard my Legendary Reputation, and to play Tend the Wounded, Valiant Spirit goes away, because I did gamble. This was a gambled card, so I'll put it sideways. And I've got plenty of gambles
left.
So
I think if you gamble, I think you either play the Tending the Wounded by discarding a card.
I did.
Or you can take a wound and gamble, or take a wound and play a card from hand.
Oh,
so it says right
so
here,
I just drop
when their
it.
next round begins, you may play it as your combat card by discarding a card.
Okay.
If you play by other means, meaning play a combat card via gambling or play a combat card from hand to suffer a wound. So if you wanted to gamble and use that card anyway,
then I still get a wound.
You just take a wound, yeah.
Okay, well in that case I already put it on.
But... Yeah, you can put it back on top, doesn't matter to me, but you want to take the card that you paid and put it back in hand? And take your wound, or did you want to pay?
No, I want to discard. Play Tend the Wounded.
You can put that card back on top. That's fine by me.
Okay. Well, I know what it is.
Oh, then you're fine.
Yeah.
All right. So you discarded a card, and you sent how much back? 2.
2.
Okay, gross.
A very simple 2.
So I think I can actually manage 2, but I'm going to have to gamble for it. I'm going to reveal 2 cards. I've got 2 gambles left. Do I want the card that blocks 2 or the card that blocks 2? We're going to use the card that blocks 2. We're going to play the main gauche, and we're just going to keep this duel going.
Just keep bouncing.
Just keep bouncing. So here's 2 more coming at Odette.
All right. Well, this is her second of 5 gambles. Oh, there we go. I wish I could do Battle of Wits. I cannot do the maneuver because I do not have 1 to pay.
Yeah, you can
Thanks,
do the
Lorenzo.
very safe. I mean, it's either way you're sending 2. Do you want to block 2 or 3?
2. Yeah, I will. I want the Battle of Wits still in my deck.
Yeah, good thinking.
So I will
block 3, send 2.
Send 2.
All right, let's gamble again. This is my final gamble, and it's gold or steel. Absolutely, it's gold or steel.
Goodness.
So I'm now out of gambles. I'm going to repose 2, thrust 2. So you've got 4 to deal with. Hopefully I can put a wound through. And also, I'm going to use my duelist maneuver can't be used, but my pirate maneuver sure can be, because you are 1 combat. And, oh, she's not a pirate. He is a scoundrel duelist. And my duelist maneuver won't work on you, because you've got 5 finesse and I've got 4, so nothing happens there.
Goodness.
So I don't get my extra card, no wound risk.
All right.
Good for you. All right.
All right. Third gamble. Main gauche or gallant deeds. Obviously gallant deeds. So 1's going through. And 3 are getting bounced.
Whew. All right. So I've got like a really tough decision here. How many cards do you have in hand? None?
Jazz hands.
And I'm out of gambles. So I can play a card from hand, which is going to leave you just gambling. And if I'm lucky, I can do a damage here. I just hate doing it. I really hate doing it. But we're going to go for it, because I think this is... I hate getting down this view. I'm going to play proper drama from hand for its RPT. I'm going to, let's see, I came in late, but saw the testing cards. What does gambling technique and gambling maneuver mean? I'm going to explain real quick, and I can even pull up a card to show you just real fast, because I know we had some people who are just a little behind. So we got Elgato's Mask. It's got a gambling technique Curious has a gambling maneuver. Gambling maneuvers and techniques are effects that you can use if you gambled a card that round. So I can only use a gambling technique if I gambled that round. I can only use the gambling maneuver on Curious if I gambled that card. So just a way to kind of RNG spike them a bit. Oh, sorry, the dog was really excited. Hope I didn't scare anybody. So I just played this proper drama. We're gonna post 2. We're gonna parry nothing. We're gonna thrust 1, and I'm gonna take my 1 last damage, and I will die. I'm going to the locker now. Goodbye, everybody. And Mista would get discarded at this point, but anytime Mista would be discarded, we are gonna go ahead and sink her instead.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my final strike, and I'm hopeful that whatever you gamble is not gonna block 3, so I can put 1 more damage on.
Oh, I'm done with you.
No way.
Yeah. The other one. The other, I'm done with you.
No way.
Should have shuffled. You saw me shuffling away.
Oh, that didn't pay off at all. Why did I lose the card from hand? Oh, that's really funny. But now we know.
But now you know that both of my
one's gone,
one's
one's sunk.
Are not going to be an issue in the future.
Oh man. All right.
Okay.
So here's the deal. I've got more cards in hand than you. I have 1 card.
You have 1 card.
And that means that I can issue an influence challenge to somebody.
You sure can.
I'm going to issue an influence challenge to Horatio Lockwood.
Oh.
City action. Target an opposing character. If their controller has fewer cards in hand than you, Sanjay issues an influence challenge to that character. So in this case, with the dash, it behaved like a 0. I'm sure if we're doing something wrong here. These are the fringe interactions that we almost never see, but we got to get used to it now.
Yeah, he has to... You're going to get that money either way.
I don't think so. You can't issue the challenge, but I think you can still participate in it as though you had a 0. Let me verify, though.
Well, here's the thing. I'm speaking more of action economy. You've claimed this location.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't take it back with Horatio.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to let you, I'm going to decline the duel. You get your money.
Aha! All right, you've declined a duel. When Sanjay's challenge is refused, collect a renown from this location. And this is going to give me an opportunity to increase the boo-boo counters on our characters. Because we both have 3 right now, don't we?
We do.
Oh, man, we're bloody.
Well, Odette has 2, Sanjay has 3.
Oh, that's right. I was hoping it would end up being 2. 3 for me, 2 for you. All right, well, that was my action. What do you got?
I could refuse the duel, but I see Sanjay wide open. So, yeah, even with... you have 1 card in hand. I have no cards in hand. Even though they have the same finesse, as long as I initiate the duel, I will be up on gambles.
It's true.
So, Horatio turns sideways, and he will use his technique. Because Sanjay is alone.
It's true. So you're sending 5 at me?
I am.
Goodness gracious.
4 and 5.
So I could decline this and have 2 left. Or I could gamble. And I think I've used both my roll the bones, so my chances to get rid of all of this are pretty low. But I think I can at least get 3 of it blocked, given the +1 riposte built in. And if I'm lucky, I can kill you before you kill me. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So let's go ahead and opening with a gamble of 3 cards. We're going to do 1 and 2 and 3. So I've got Elgato's Mask. Elgato's Mask is going to be it. Raise the stakes is not going to be super helpful for me, and that 1/1/2 isn't that great. So for sure, we're going to sink these cards, and we're going to riposte 1 +1 riposte on Sanjay's gambled cards, parry 2, and then we're going to thrust 1 at the end, which means I'm just going to take this 1 wound.
All right. He's at half. He's bloodied.
Yeah, he's at half.
All right. Horatio, Cavalier hat. Ooh, that's tempting.
Yeah.
10 the wounded. No,
it's the Cavalier hat.
Yeah, he's going for the kill.
So riposte 2, parry nothing, thrust 2. So I've got 4 on me right now.
Horatio is looking rough, but this is his job. He stabs and he dies.
Let's go ahead and do our next gamble. So I have a pirate maneuver that could let me draw a card here if I'm willing to take 2 damage. Actually, only 1 damage because Life in the Canals is 2 riposte, and I can get +1. So that's actually totally what I'm doing. I'm going to sink those cards. We'll play Life in the Canals. 2 riposte. It's gambled, so it's actually 1, 2, 3 riposte. And then I'm going to use the pirate maneuver to draw a card.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to like that at all.
I really wish I didn't do this because it has a gambling maneuver on it.
So it goes.
It would have been really nice under different circumstances. So Sanjay's up to 5 wounds. We're having a spicy day 1 here.
All right. Relentless or unsanctioned duel. Man. I don't want Horatio to die. So I'm going to not relentless. I'm going to block 2, send 2 with unsanctioned duel. And he's in the danger zone.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and gamble again because I can move too. I can totally move. Here's my worry is that you have a big final strike, which actually puts me in the position where I'm like, I can't afford to lose these, though. I can't afford to lose these cards. I've got to gamble it.
You got to gamble it.
I got to bleed out,
and
I've got it unsanctioned. I'm taking the bleed out. This is my last gamble, which means this is going to repose 2. 2 coming at you, and then thrust 3 with the bleed out. He's really hard to put down.
Yeah.
He's got Yevgeny energy.
Yeah. He almost did put down Yevgeny.
Yeah. I could see him dropping on some resolve.
Okay. Oh, not today would put him down. Yeah, got a defending honor.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to toast out, but he's going to throw 4.
Repose 1.
Now.
Thrust 1, 2, 3.
Now I'll pop the Object of Wonder.
So Horatio is not dead. He comes back.
Can't get rid of him.
All right. Well, here, you sent 4 to me. I'm out of gambles, which means I'm going to have to play a card from hand. I've needed every one of those. So I'm in a tough spot here. And I think the only thing that I can afford to do, and I hate doing it, is play Adaptable from hand. And then pay 1 with Curious, which is the card I drew from the top, which I really wanted to gamble. But too bad, so sad. Frankly, I was out of gambles at that point. No, I didn't. I could have done it with a bleed out. I'm going to repose 2 with the maneuver, and then choose +2 parry.
Yep.
And make it out. And we are stuck. We are at parity, sir. You and I have both characters who are 3 wounds from death.
Indeed.
So, there we go. Hell of a day 1. Let's go ahead and plunder. I'll collect this last renown.
Yoink.
And let's give a big round of applause to Derek, who played for the memes of this and didn't have...
not here to play optimally, here to play entertainingly.
All right, so let's get our day 2 set up. Let's see. Derek, could you load up our day 2 real quick?
I would love to. All right, on the docks we have Carmella. Oh, the forum says Serenth Hand, extremely dangerous, and Leha at the Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, it is scary. The big thing that we do in playtesting is look at something and go, that should be fine. And then we playtest it and we go, oh no, that's not fine. That's really busted. That's not okay. And that is my favorite pastime, is staring at spreadsheets with the rest of the design team, including Brian. Brian's hanging out in here. And Rob Croy, and we all at the spreadsheets until they kind of make sense. All right, so let's see what we got. We're going to bring you home, Sanjay. Poor Sanjay. Really shouldn't have got rid of those siestas. I replaced them. It wasn't necessarily optimal, but made sense at the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just going to make a decision based on things we haven't really seen.
Going on pure vibes, Carl.
It's vibe time. So who could you be mustering? I'm sure you brought Horatio back. It makes perfect sense to bring Horatio back.
Maybe.
I think we're going to do that.
Perhaps. And I could have just, put him right on top to lull you into a false sense of security. That's what we'll say.
That's what it is. Ready?
That's what it is.
All right. Parlay Gone Wrong and Lucas Martinez have come out.
Oh, Sir Jack in Midnight Shipment.
Yeah, Sir Jack scares me.
Yes, this worked out perfectly.
Because it's all going to funnel onto your location, yep.
I got the initiative, and I have Sir Jack to move people away. Flawless.
Very good. So you're starting with Midnight Shipment. Where are you putting Renown?
I must put Renown on the docks in the Grand Bazaar.
All right.
Which works very well with Jack.
And now I'm going to put a Renown to the forums. Then each opponent may move a Renown to the forums. And then players can intervene in challenges at the forums only if they added or moved a Renown there this day. So if you would like to be able to intervene here, you should move something over.
All right.
Of course, if you do it later, it'll still work. because it's this day. So you could, through other means, like an Odette duel at the location, but that'd be a bit too late.
Okay, I will move this money over.
Brilliant.
Actually, yeah. Well, actually, let's see what this card is.
Oh, yeah,
first.
we got to do that first. Let's
do
you.
this card.
Pena.
Hell yeah, Pena. My boy.
Eisen players hate him. Everybody else, I think, relatively enjoys him.
Castille players adore him.
He got picked up a lot by Castille players.
Yeah.
All right, where are you moving your renown?
Yeah. Well, let's do this.
Great scout. He's done it.
Okay.
All right. So let's bring him in. And now I'm going to draw cards. I get to draw 7 cards because I got +1 panache from Parlay Gone Wrong. 6 and 7. And how many you drawn today?
Also 7.
Also 7. Hey, we're tied up.
Okay. This is a foolish mistake, but I need Carmela. I must have her.
All right. We're going to move Lucas Martinez up here.
All right. Odette turns sideways. Tossing as much as it pains me to do so. Come hither and unsanctioned duel. Because I don't think you have any parryouts in that deck. And I will procure a Carmela.
Hey, she's alive and on the team. Ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
I'm going to play Taunt. And I'm going to pitch Tending the Wounded for it. Taunt, target adjacent enemy character, move them to... This is the second time I've taunted Odette this game. So Odette's now over here.
Okay. Odette's going to use her city action to move a duelist. Not a musketeer, a duelist over.
There she is. So here's what we're going to do now that you've done that, because I hate that.
This actually kind of worked out for me. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to use Jack, but now I can.
I'm going to issue a challenge to Odette. I'm going to send 3 threat to Odette.
All right. Fraternity. Carmela is one of the boys and jumps in for free. A challenge was accepted.
Move the renown over.
Odette moves money. So, yeah, let's get weird with it. Lucas only has 1 gamble, but he has effectively 2 fights. So, I'm gonna gamble. We're gonna see what we get. Masterwork, Rapier, Diplomatic Impunity.
It's Rapier.
Yeah.
Unless you want to pay 1 to repost an extra 1, which will get you right a little block it all.
Yeah. Unoptimal. Yeah, this is sort of one of the troubles with a mixed Montaigne deck is if a duelist gets diplomat cards, it's less than ideal and vice versa. So...
Repose 2?
Repose 2.
I mean, we got pretty much... I think those are both the remaining duelists from the city deck. They're both out to play today. All right, so 3 to me. We'll take my 1 and only gamble. 1 and 2. Yeah,
I think I know what you're going to
the
do.
answer is relentless because Raise the Stakes is a card I want from hand. So we will repost 1. We're going to thrust 3, which means I'm going to take all 2 of these wounds.
Ooch, oof, your bones. Okay, in order to preserve Carmella, I am going to play a Broken Time from hand.
Oh, all right. I'm glad we're getting those out.
Yeah,
I
so
really hate those.
Master of the Valerie style. I think so. Or you are engaged, so the maneuver's 3. I could bounce all 4.
Yeah, who doesn't love bouncing for?
Yeah, let's bounce all 4. So Master of the Valerie style. Bounce, 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 bounce. So bounce 1, bounce 2, block 1, thrust 1, and then the maneuver in order of operations. And these are upright.
That tracks. You moved it all. So you put me in a position here where I'm going to have to play from hand. I don't love that. But let's make my final strike worth it. I'm going to play the second Relentless from hand. So I'm going to riposte 1. I'm going to thrust 3. I'm going to pick these up because we both know that Lucas Martinez has died.
Yeah.
And after Lucas Martinez I already put him in the locker, yep. After this card is sent to the locker, muster Lucas Martinez damned to that location from the locker. So his undead version arrives.
Don't love that. Alright, well, let's see what she gambles. I might get lucky. I mean, as long as she survives. Right?
That's a block 2, send 3, yeah.
Yeah, block 2, send 3, so let's do that. So she survives with 1.
We love it.
She is very messed up, but very alive. All right, so...
Yeah, now it's your reaction.
Yeah, I'm thinking for sure.
Oh, and after Lucas musters, put a risk from the locker into your hand. I don't have any risks in the locker right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm going to look at Sanjay real quick. And Sanjay's equipment.
Sanjay's got the Gallegos.
Yeah. -1 block. And
I'll bring Sanjay up
extra
again
card.
so we can see what he's looking at.
Yeah. None of this is good. Okay. I'm going to move up Jack.
Hey, there he is. All right, that makes sense because you're going to try to, yoink him around and whatnot. Yeah. So, I really just need Carmella to be gone. That's what I really need out of this situation. Especially because, all the freaking renown's there. Here's what I'm going to do.
Do it.
I'm going to issue challenge to Odette.
All right, Carmella turns sideways and jumps in the way.
Hey, that's amazing that you did that. I'm going to play Passionate, and I'm going to pitch Main Gauche to pay for it. Passionate says, Pirate reaction. After your performer's challenge is accepted, if the adversary intervened, unguard your performer.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
So Lucas Martinez has stood up. I really need to make that, what little...
All right. I am going to parry out.
I hate that.
I'm going to hope you don't ever raise the stakes.
I don't.
All right.
I don't have to raise the stakes.
Oh, you got a card out of my hand. I got a card out of yours.
No, you got 2 cards out of my hand because I had to pay for Passionate.
Oh, that's true. All right.
Your reaction.
I made a profit.
I feel like I know what you're about to do. Sir Jack Harding me over?
Nope. Sir Jack is going to claim.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So we've got that and that. Well, I guess I'm in a position where best I can do is issue a challenge to Odette, and then Carmella will use her ability to intervene once per day. And we'll have 3 Lucas Martinez versus Carmella fights in one day.
We sure will.
That's probably what we're going to do. We're going to do it.
All right.
So I'm sending 3 threat towards... I'm sending it... Yeah, I'm going to send it to Odette because I believe in the principle of sending it to Odette, even
and
though
then
Carmelo will intervene without engaging.
Yeah,
using her
always
ability.
always be a man of principles.
Oh, I forgot about the stream, but I'm here now. All right, what's going on, Eric? I will put the new cards up in a little bit so we can go through them again between the next game. I pop them up when I can. Go ahead, you got the first lead here.
All right.
Ivante?
Or Mango.
It's
Toast.
Ivante.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
toast either way.
So Repose 2, Thrust 1.
Carmelo's toast.
Yeah, I'm going to
she,
use...
She ate a lot of fights.
I'm going to use my only gamble, because of course... Oh, yeah! Life in Canals. Draw a card with the pirate maneuver, because he's a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to Repose 2, which means I'm going to take 1, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, Lucas Martinez dies. He turns to ash.
Indeed.
All right, man, look at that. I've gone through 2/3 of my deck in almost 2 days here. That's pretty spiky.
Yeah, mine's also looking rather thin.
All right, how many cards do you have in hand?
2.
Amazing. All right, so it's my action. Now it's yours.
I pass.
I'm going to move Sanjay up here.
All right. And
Did you put an Eisen token on here?
Well, that's what you gave me.
Well, that was foolish of me.
I'm working with what I have, Carl. That's all any of us can do.
Here you go. Here's 2 more.
Yoink.
And let's update our controls so people know what you've got, because you have taken the forums. They're under your control now. All right, it's your action. I've got a Sanjay staring you down.
All right.
Sir Jack Harding, where's
Sir
he going to
Jack
send me?
Kicks him over to...
Oh,
if I do it over there, you get Pena and come over.
I'm going to play Curious.
Ah.
Curious, city action, wound your performer. Sanjay is 1 wound from death now. Wound your performer, move...
2 wounds from death.
Oh, I'm sorry, 2 wounds from death now. Move to an adjacent location controlled by an opponent, because of course I'm very curious about what's happening over here. And curiosity killed the cat, which is why I take the wound.
Don't like that.
Yeah, curious is pretty good.
It is. It is. Oh, jeez.
And here's the thing, if I issue this combat challenge, you're probably just going to decline it. And if you decline it, I'm going to collect a renown. But after that, how many cards do you have in hand?
I have 2.
I have 2, which means I don't have enough to, say, issue you an influence challenge. So that can decline my first challenge. I take 1 of your renown, and then you walk away with 2. And you're just 1 from death, and I'll be 2 from death.
I could. I could also accept the challenge, which is terribly tempting. But I don't think, even with the very high average RPT of Montaigne, that I can put Sanjay down. It would be very dangerous.
I'm going to +1 or post.
You're going to +1 or plus.
Oh, high amount of cards, yeah.
Every time. I do have more gambles, but I think I might lose that calculus.
How many broken times have you gone through? Not that you can use them right now, but...
you can't use them. One is used and the other's on the bottom.
I see. Well, the bottom's getting pretty close.
Yeah, the bottom's getting pretty... Oh, wait, no, they're both here.
They're both there? Okay.
They're both there.
And you've used... Don't you... You've got another... I'm done with you coming up, don't you?
I do.
Hate that.
So... You know what? I'm gonna let you take your action, actually.
Torres Cloak.
Oh no.
Yep, Sanjay's got a Torres Cloak. What's the Torres Cloak do, Carl? It does this. Let me show you, everyone. This is the Torres Cloak. Torres Cloak is a new attachment, 0 cost. 1/1/2 RPT. It's offhand, so Sanjay can have this equipped with the Gaia Ghost Blade, which he does. It's got a reaction. When equipped, participant's adversary would resolve a maneuver or technique. I can engage this card to cancel the effects unless they discard a card. So your stuff can still happen. And this is... I want to make sure... This is maybe not the smartest play, but I got to put the new card in, and that's what I care about.
That's what matters.
The other thing is... I don't know what you've got from hand that's a spicy maneuver. Really, I'm just trying to stop that I'm done with you, which I know is somewhere in that stack over there. I just don't want to deal with it. But you could just discard a card to get out of it, which still taxes you.
That's really nasty.
Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else.
I'm going to issue my 2 combat challenge to Odette. Does Odette accept?
I could have this keep going, but you know what? Let's show off the new cards. The smart thing to do is to just take the hit and hope you don't have like a Raise the Stakes or Relentless.
I don't have those. I'm going to tell you that because the other option is we do one more day and then we get to see other new cards. Up to you on what you want to do because we have another game after this.
We do have another game after this.
What's the play that Derek wants to make? Is the one I want to see. You've made enough sacrifices.
You know, I'll take the hits. You get the money.
Aha!
Let's
I will
see
collect
what
the
new
renown.
cards from a hand are.
All right. So that's it. You got 4 on you, right?
4.
All right. Let's update this. I think that's it because at this point I'm gonna pass. You're gonna pass too, I assume, right?
I'm gonna pass.
All right. So we both pass it out, and that's it. So let's update our scoreboard here. Derek's walking away with 2 renown.
The fact that Sanjay can just steal, has the option to steal 2 renowned every single turn.
Yeah, it might need to be a reaction, which is, possible.
Yeah, I think a reaction might be more.
He's only got 2 combat and 2. Just accept the duel.
Yeah,
just accept the duel.
Yeah, the combination of, yes, you can accept the duel, but then he's just going to do all of these very dangerous riposte actions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the riposte is what's really spicy. I think maybe 7 resolve. 7 resolve seems more fair. So we're in plunder. Derek's collected his 2 renown. We've got 1 renown still in the docks, and we're gonna reveal the day 3, and I'll update our track in a minute. Ooh, chance meeting, which is not good for either of us actually.
Actually, it is because Lucas is toast.
Oh, Lucas did just evaporate. Not yet. Yes, at the beginning of Dawn, before the season comes out, destroy Lucas. Because Lucas's fragile, ghostly form did not survive. Is that following the fiction? It kind of not. That's actually kind of mechanical. I don't think that's. I think the undead Lucas is still roaming the city.
Maybe he's like a vampire.
Let's see here. Knock that to neutral. Excellent. All right, our very wounded leaders are on display. You got 4 wounds on Odette right now. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's do our day 3. And what's chat saying? I don't think you'll get to steal more than 1 usually. I think you're right. To even get the second attack, you have to have more cards in hand. That's especially harder to do in this matchup because Odette is just going to draw more cards than me. I don't think you'll get to steal 1 a lot of times. I think you're right too. If it's unlimited, any dual initiating cards printed after the fact will have extra value. That's true. I don't think they're going to see many challenges from hand, like, say, Montaigne, Asura. Other factions have dual initiating cards that Castille can improvise into. Good point on the improvising into them. That's a good point that nobody in testing has brought up yet. So I'm down a guy. You're not. I was reading chat. So let me see what we're going to do here. I feel like somebody's coming out again who I'm not real excited about. And I feel like the answer is this and this. And
Also,
we'll see.
I'm incredibly pleased that you managed to curious your way back.
Oh, yeah.
The thread of the needle.
Yeah, I got that in hand, and I was like, I got to hold on to that. That's I think one of the more potent cards in the set. It's the card I'm actually the most worried about currently.
Yeah.
So
I'm because it has 2 different conditions. I personally think it's fine as it is.
it could be. I mean, taking a wound is no small thing. Ready?
Right.
All right, especially because I had to do it my leader. Midnight Shipment for me and a new Celine Elgato. Woo!
All right. Horatio in until morale improves
I hate
for the
that.
power to punch.
Hate that. All right, so let me put the new Celine up because Celine just came in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remy dog.
Here's the Celine that we're currently testing, and I played Midnight Shipment, so we're going to add a card to the docks. Hey, Gicinto.
Yep, I figured you would do a high initiative. So I need that much more violence. I need to do the combination of Jack can move people and Jack can sit people down with until morale improves. And Horatio can fight and stand up and fight and stand up and fight and stand up and fight and stand up.
All right, I just drew plenty of cards. So
Love it.
let's go take our Celine down. We'll go through all the cards one more time. I know we've got some people who are hanging out, wanted to see some new cards. We went over them at the beginning. This will be on YouTube after, but
so let's see. You put
we'll
one
show it off
here and here.
Yes, thank you. I was behind on that, and I had my city card.
Yep. And
You're adding it to any location or mover renown. And I'm currently at 3. You're currently at 2.
You have the initiative. So.
Ooh, they're really spread out. And you're putting Jack in a position to just knock me over. And I think both Curious are in the discard pile now. So.
Yep, I'm trying to maximize use of Jack.
This is what we call I'm in danger. Let's do our opening. We're gonna take Celine, and Celine is gonna move to the docks.
Magnificent.
Celine Gato in La Bosa.
All right. If I until morale improves on Odette, she dies. So
don't do that.
Yeah.
Do not that.
Do not that. So I'm gonna think deep thoughts.
And I don't know if we counted it out. Chance meeting at the docks, Double Jonas Bones at the forums, and Kala Nettlehide at the bazaar, with Jacinto showing back up at the docks because of the midnight shipment.
All right. I really don't think that you're going to risk Sanjay toasting out to Horatio, so I'm going to put. If I move anyone over here, Celine flies away.
To where? I can only move. Oh, I can move to any location. That's
any
true.
Location, yeah. And your city action after you get Giacinto means you can move to any location. You're about to get someone from chance meeting if I don't.
No, it's after
there.
an enemy character moves to the location is when I can move. So I can't get Jacinto and move.
Yeah. I'm just concerned, there's literally no advantage for me to bring any of my people here, because if I move here with a combat character, you run away.
Yep, Celine grows wings.
If I move Odette here, you challenge. And on the other hand, or if I move here, you just chance meeting into a fighter.
Yeah, of course. That's definitely what I'd do. I'm gonna chance meeting. Chance meeting is target a player in order of initiative. Each player that controls fewer characters than the targeted player may muster a character from their approach deck at this location. So he's got 3, I've got 2, so I can just rubber band my way into an extra character.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like much of a rubber band right now. I mean, both of our leaders are pretty smacked.
Okay, so, but I also really don't want you to have Kalinaldehyde because Sanjay is buffed up enough. And I could always use Kalinaldehyde to bust one of Sanjay's items. So I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm going to move up Jack.
Jack moves. I'm doing the thing. I'm going to use the action here. Yep. Derek, I target you. I'm going to muster a character at this location, and that character is going to be Torvo Espada.
Love it.
I needed a supreme duelist here, and of course the next thing that said is discard this card.
Yeah.
So that goes away.
All right. And then of course, Midnight Shipment, you're just going to move Torvo over to me.
Oh, I mean, I have to buy Jacinto.
Yeah, you'd have to buy Jacinto, who is... He has a price.
He's a pricey boy.
You could move him over. Okay, so you're going to try to bait out Jack. Got it. All right. Well, I am going to sweeten the deal, and I am going to move my cards over here to make room for Odette.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. We're going to give Torvo a Gallegos blade. Torvo's got a sword.
Torvo's got a sword. All right, I'm going to toss Valiant Spirit, and Horatio has a sword. Mangosh.
All right. Oh, what do you say? I haven't watched all of last week's stream yet, but I remember Bacon playing Heroic Intervention in his Vidachi deck. Could he possibly explain the choice after this game? Yes. Remember, we got to talk about Heroic Intervention Yubadashi deck.
It works on thugs.
It does.
Period. That's it. One sentence. 3 words.
It works on thugs.
It works on thugs.
It costs money.
It costs money, but it works on thugs.
Yeah.
So that's it. Three words, there's your answer. No need to delay.
All right, so you just put a main gauche on Horatio.
Sure did.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to put a Torres cloak onto Torvo. And now
Oh my
I've got
goodness.
2 Torres cloak, Gaiago's Blade, guys. This is a fun combo. Reveal 3, and then I can cancel one of your maneuvers or techniques. I'm looking at you, Horatio.
All right. Well, Sir Jack is going to claim.
Now, you got Horatio just chilling there.
I have Horatio just chilling there. He is ready to go where he is needed.
He's waiting in the wings.
Oh, yes.
I'm in a tough pickle here because I've got some great cards in my hand. We're going to walk Sanjay up here. Sanjay's also moved. Everybody's at the docks.
Yeah, everybody is just primed and loaded.
We've got a docks
to
party.
spring from the docks. Okay. All right, I am going to
I know you're thinking about walking Horatio up here.
I am. Just to kind of
just to feel it out.
Just to feel it, because here's the thing: if I walk Horatio up, then you have to buy Giacinto, and then I fight Giacinto.
There's something worse that will happen if you walk anybody here, which is I will react, move Celine to any location, and immediately fight Odette.
Yeah.
So that's actually the worst thing that'll happen.
That is the worst thing.
Okay,
in that case, I'm going to walk Horatio up here to the forums.
He's in the middle.
He's in the middle.
He's in the middle, folks. All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
I'm going to engage Sanjay.
Okay.
To parlay to buy Giacinto, and I'll pitch 3 cards. I pitch, this is the worst, Night of Drinking, Unsanctioned Duel, Proper Drama, and Giacinto has joined my team. I have 2 cards left in hand.
Pricey.
Very pricey.
All right. I'm going to, as much as I want to give Horatio the Cavalier hat, I want him to have the Javelin Jonas bonuses more.
Ooh, to take a wound, yeah.
Yep. So he takes a boo-boo. But he is very, very good at fighting now.
Yeah. Giacinto's going to claim the docks.
He sure will.
So let me update our counter.
There's not a thing I can do about it. I do like how this is turning out better than my previous pure murder deck, even though there have been some fits and starts.
I'm going to be honest, Derek. I think you just like to stab stuff.
I really do. It's in my blood.
It is. You're happier doing that, I think. I think it's just, you're called to it.
I am.
On Elgato's Mask technique, do you discard only attachments or both if one is an attachment? Oh, well, let me pull it up to make sure our wording isn't ambiguous, because these are still early cards, and this is why we show them off. This is a great question. Who posted that again? Doji. Oh, it's Doji. The intention is you discard any that are attachments. Does it read that way? That's an amazing question. Reveal 2 random cards from their hand. If any of them were attachments, discard them.
In order to make it less ambiguous, you could say discard that attachment.
Discard those cards, maybe? All right, that's really good.
Or discard those attachment cards. Boom, done.
Yeah, I just want to leave room for flavor text, which is our constant struggle. So, great question, and we're going to resolve that later. I appreciate bringing that up, Doji. All right. So, we're back here. You're there. I've claimed. You've claimed. What did you do?
I bought some dice.
I claimed this.
And then you claimed that.
And then what did you do?
And now I'm going to use Odette's city action to move Horatio over.
Cool. I'm going to pass.
The temptation to buy Calinaldehyde just to fly over there and then Celine comes over here, and then I murder Celine is terribly tempting. But then you would use that to kick Torvo over, and then I would have to deal with Torvo. But I still have a jack action, so you know what? Let's get weird with it. Let's.
You going to offer me a Calanadalhide that I can kick the crap out of? I'm happy about it.
I do kind of want to burn those cards out of your hand.
Hey, Scott's here. How's it going, Scott? Oh, man, a lot of activity just happened.
All right, so yeah, Odette is going to turn sideways.
Brian, I think, is right on the wording. Discard all revealed attachments. That would just be the way to word that.
That would be the way to word it.
That would be the way to word it.
Love it.
That's why Brian's on the design team.
Pitching 2, tending the wounded, and
yeah, we've got a big pile for people who are just jumping in. Currently, we are utterly segregated in the city. We have Celine Elgato, Giacinto, Torvo Espada, and Sanjay at the docks, which I've claimed. He's got Horatio Lockwood, Odette Dubois-Theron, and Sir Jack Harding at the bazaar, which he's claimed. Are you buying them? And now he has just recruited Colin Adelheid. And who'd you recruit with, by the way?
With Odette.
Okay, Odette engages, so you pay 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. I have paid Tending the Wounded and Diplomatic Impunity.
Cool.
And Colin Adelheid. And I am going to pop on Torvo.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to get rid of my Gallegos Blade, which lets me gamble an extra 1? You should probably get rid of the Gallegos Blade of the 2. Because it's nice that I can cancel a maneuver technique. And it depends.
She can't use any of the...
You might actually want to get rid of the Torres Cloak because it can stop Horatio's technique.
Yeah, this stops techniques and maneuvers, so I'm going to get rid of the cloak.
Cool. So my Torres Cloak, goodbye.
And this decision that I have made should go into the calculations of the design team, because a judgment was made and judged that the new card was more valuable than the current equipment.
So here's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play Mista, which I was holding on to until I determined if you're going to do that, and I'm going to put it on Torvo.
Oh,
so now Torvo has a cat. All right, so Torvo is still equipped with a Gallegos Blade and a Mista today, and he's still at the docks. Now it's your turn.
All right, Calanaldehyde, punch Celine.
No, Torvo's going to intervene and accept this duel on behalf of Celine.
All right,
it's time to have another duel. So let's get our... Oh, man, how many cards do I have left in this deck? I have 5 cards left, so that'll be all of my gambles. So, actually, it's not true because I'm going to sink them. I'm going to reveal these 2. I've got a Passionate and a Tending the Wounded. I'm going to pop the Tending. I will pop the Tending the Wounded here, and we will block 1, 2, 3, and send 1, 2.
All right, first of 2 gambles.
Relentless, not bad.
Tempting or not. There's that other not today.
Well, now I know it's in there.
Now you know it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Relentless. Ouch. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. All right. So let's gamble again.
Glamble.
Ooh, we got Raise the
glamorous
Stakes
gamble.
And Raise the Stakes is an Aldana, and that's going to work for me because I'm going to add this.
Also, why are you only gambling 2 cards?
Oh, I should be gambling a 3rd. That's my 3rd. It's Bleed Out. I don't want that. I'm going to sink it. So I gambled 1 less than I should have last time. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what Raise the Stakes does. It's an Aldana, and that's great because now it's in my dueling line. I'm going to use my technique, which is +1 parry. If there's an Aldana card in Torvo's dueling line, +1 riposte instead.
Goodness.
So I am actually 1 riposte,
mm-hmm.
2 parry,
mm-hmm.
2 thrust, take 1 wound. Ouch, I said.
Oof, oof.
And I'm going to use my technique that says you can't gamble your next round.
Oh, no. All right. Well...
You can't gamble your next round. You must play a card from hand.
Oh, I don't like that.
Thanks, Mista. That's what Mista's for. Yeah, we've got that in a card now. It's just a duelist maneuver.
All right. I didn't want to do this, but I kind of want Torvo toasted. So you're going to get a Battle of Wits from my hand.
Yeah, but the maneuver's not going to do much for you.
Yeah, the maneuver's going to do nothing for me because she has an influence of dash, so it's just a 2/2.
Ooh, so you're going to take one?
Yep, so 2 at you. And
She'll have 2, yep.
2. But if she manages to kill Torvo, that would be huge.
It would be. I'm going to do my next gamble. Reveal these 3 cards. So do I want the Bleed Out, the Passionate? So if I use Bleed Out, I'm going to sure send a lot at you. And it'll probably kill you. It opens up a big final strike for you. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sink these 2, which they're now my deck. I'm going to play Passionate as my 3rd and final gamble. I'm going to parry 2 and thrust 3. So I move all of it right back to you.
All right. Let's see what we get. Our 2nd and final gamble.
Impunity, not helpful.
Not helpful. And Valiant Spirit. Okay, so Valiant Spirit. You go away. Bounce 1. Block 1. Take 1. Thrust 2.
All right. Well, I don't love doing this, but I'm going to play Raise the Stakes. It's the only one I have in my hand. I'm going to parry 2, thrust 2, which means I'm going to take 1. And you're stuck playing a card from your hand.
And you have nothing in hand, and you're out of gambles.
Here's what I'm going to do. I think I am going to end up losing Torvo by the end of this, which is too bad. But, man, it sucks to lose a fight at Callan Adelheid. I just don't have the tools that I need. So I could use this maneuver to add a threat to both of us, which means I'll be taking it later, but puts you in a position where you will probably die. So, because most cards block 2. I don't know what your card does. Okay. Well,
that's that.
That's it. All right. That's it anyway. All right.
I really was saving that I'm done with you for, like, an oh crap moment.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't. It's my whole deck. It's my whole entire deck. There's no point in spreading it out. Thump. Okay, now
look at all these wounds I have.
Look at all those wounds.
So that was your action.
That was my action.
So now it's mine, and I could have Torvo make you fight me. And if you do that, if you actually, we're gonna do that city action. I'm gonna target an opposing character.
Sure.
You may issue a combat challenge to me.
I shall.
Cool. You've issued a combat challenge to me. So I've got 2 coming at me again, and we're going to gamble, but wait, there's only 2 cards here, and I need to gamble 3, so I've got to take my whole deck and shuffle it.
Let's do it.
What's going on here? 2 techniques. My hype for the new cards is genuinely through the roof. I'm so happy to hear that. The design team worked really hard on that. Big shout out to Brian, a.k.a. So Guy, and Rob Croy, who might be hanging out at some point in here. Torres is my favorite Castille fighting style, so the cloak is amazing. New tech for my favorite character, Lorenzo, Scoundrel on a Stick, Mask, and a new Hubris. Yeah, there's also virtues. Passionate, I think, is a virtue. Every faction's getting... Oh, there he is, Coyote. Hey, nerds. And then, did Carl just use 2 techniques? I don't think that I did, because... No, I used them at separate times, did I not? The +1 riposte and the can't gamble, did I use those simultaneously? Did I mess up?
My memory is not.
I could have, and if I did, I apologize sincerely. That's what I get for not looking back closely. Geigel's Blade might need to be my least favorite faction sword. I love it.
An extra card on a gamble for free. Every gamble is amazing.
It's pretty good.
For 0.
I just hate gambling it. So sorry if I cheated there. All right, let's reveal my 3rd card. I know one's a Bleed Out and one's a Passionate. Oh, no, I was dead wrong. That's the Bleed Out, the Unsanctioned Duel, and the Life in the Canals. The answer is Life in the Canals.
Obviously.
Because I'm going to use the Pirate maneuver to draw a card. And I'm going to repose 2.
Pirate.
Oh, you issued a challenge to me, right?
Yep, I sure did.
So that's actually wrong, because when you issue a challenge, you sent 3 threat. And I think I put the threat down wrong. I'm still going to do it. I'm going to repose 2. I'm going to take the 1. Torvo's almost dead, but I just drew a card.
All right. First of 2 gambles. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Block 2, send 3.
Okay. 3 over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and gamble 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. This is the worst, because I got curious with a gambling maneuver that wounds my performer to get +2 repose. This is not working out well. I shouldn't have done that. I should have had Celine go for the fight, but we were just winging it. So Wiley's not going to help me.
Winging and slinging.
Yeah, let me put these cards on screen just so people can see me agonize. So these are the two of the cards that I just gambled. Curious and Wily. Curious is a gambling maneuver. Because as I gambled it, I can use it. Wound my performer to get +2 riposte. But that will kill Torvo.
Mm-hmm.
I could also block 2, send riposte 2, thrust 1 with improvising, which will kill me. Wily also kills me because it only riposte 2, and my adversary is not absent or destroyed, which means I have one choice, and that choice is to use Wily. I'm sorry, Curious. So I will be using the gambling maneuver on Curious. It makes me sad. Sync these two. I am going to wound Torvo. Torvo suffers a wound, and that means that I get +2 riposte. So I'm at a total of 1, 2, 3 riposte, and I'm going to thrust 1.
All right.
Yeah, and I've died.
There's very little that can save. I don't think there's anything that can save Castille right now, but we'll find out. Well, there's the other not today. And Diplomatic Impunity. I'm going to keep that not today in my deck. And Diplomatic Impunity fails to save Calinaldehyde. Put these on your side because you're looking awfully thin on fights. These two go away. Calinaldehyde really did their job by sucking up all of your cards.
Yeah. Hate that. To answer, Coxus just said, I think many of the new cards look great. Wily is one that I think is kind of I feel ya. It's actually the one I'm least impressed by. But in day 1, I did manage to claim a location with 2 renown because of Wily. I managed to destroy the adversary, pop that, and get 2 renown there.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, because it is a very useful fringe case, it's a oneer.
Yeah.
You have 1 in the deck.
I'm with you. All right, well, here's the deal. I am absolutely not going to move Celine over to here so that you can leverage your until morale improves.
Aw.
No, not doing it. Not doing it.
Or that I could just have Horatio, like, eviscerate her.
No, thank you.
Her in an alley like an
Here's the thing, if I get over there and survive the Horatio fight, you're just going to until morale improves and make me sad.
Also extremely true.
I would rather you lose that utility and say, pass. You passing as well?
I will pass.
We go to Plunder, so we're both going to walk away with 2 renown here.
All right, turning into your 5 to my 4.
Yeah, I'm left, so I'm at 5.
I still have, I am 1 errant wound away from Odette toasting out. She is at an absolutely soul-shriveling 4 wounds.
Yeah, and I didn't even touch her today.
You didn't. That was just leftover from last day.
I'm trying to scare her. We're on day 4. We've had a long game here, but we've also...
And I am glad that even though I didn't get to use Morale Improves, its existence forced your hand.
Dictated by play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It dictated a lot of your play.
For sure.
And again, this is a little Tom truism of sometimes the threat is more valuable than the action.
It's true. All right,
so props to Tom.
We're on the next day here, day 4. We've just gone for a bit. Let's see. We have Inauguration Day at the docks. We have the Silver Spine at the forums, and we have Equal Claim. What is this?
Goodness.
What are we supposed to do with this? This is 2 events and an attachment.
All right.
Now, I think I could potentially play through this. I think we're doing that. And I think that, I don't think that's...
None of this is good.
I don't think it's all that helpful for me now that I've lost key people on my team. But it could be helpful in one particular regard. So we're going to go for it.
All right, we're going to go for it.
All right, let's see it.
Boom.
I have When Least Expected and Maya de la Rioja, which is a place in Castille, if anybody was asking. So let's put When Least Expected up here. And you've got Bastion Gerard, so happy you're running him, and Epee Sanglante, which just scares me. Scares me so bad.
Double check. When Least Expected.
Yeah, try to put it up here. Here we go. So this is the new scheme we released. Now, there is going to be a second new scheme coming out for Castille and Fate and Fortune. This is what we have right now in testing, and it's new tech. I should have played it day 1, but I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to do something stupid. And then Lorenzo died, and then Torvo died because I was being stupid. So the best people to play this with are dead, but I could still use it with Sanjay. And it was this or Shifting Tides.
Neither of us are making optimal plays
no.
this game.
No.
We're trying to get as many cards from the Castille deck into play as humanly possible.
Yeah. All right.
We're getting weird with it.
There we go. So that's what we got today. Yeah, we're using the pretty claim markers, Croy. Made special by you. All right, so I've got a 66 and you've got a 26. So I'm going to be going first. Mine says add a renown to the docks and the forums. So one at the docks, one at the forums, and I've got Maya, of course.
All right, and I will add one to any location. The forums, because I am indeed a Montaigne, and the forums are where I live.
It's true.
I will draw 2 cards. Oh man, I wonder what these are. And I will draw several more cards after shuffling it up.
Yep, I've got 1 card in hand. I'm going to draw 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put me at 7. And where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at 6.
6 cards in hand?
6 cards in hand. Because,
I got that advantage. Of course, it's not that great of an advantage because our boy, Sanjay, is not feeling so hot right now. 6 wounds on him. All right, I've got the opening here. I'm just reviewing my hand. There's some cool opportunities in here. The answer is I'm moving Jacinto up to the forums. Oh, he hates that.
I don't like that at all. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you're dictating the pace of play.
Moving Jacinto up just makes a statement. Jacinto will kidnap anybody. Dr. Chloroform, is that what you call him?
Professor Chloroform.
Professor
He's an academic.
He does look professorial, yeah.
Okay.
He's a trait monster.
He is. All right. Extremely unoptimal play, but, you know, this is what Giacinto does. He forces answers to come out by his very presence, which is why he costs 5.
He loves it.
He loves it. So I'm going to toss a not today, and I'm going to toss a bleed out to come hither, Giacinto, to the middle of nowhere.
You've done it.
Bringing me down to an absolutely anemic 3 cards in hand.
What? How many? Oh my gosh, you just bled through. Oh no. Well,
yes, Carl.
You turned him off.
I turned him off. I had to.
Man, oh man. So what am I gonna do here? This feels like danger. Okay, that could be fun though. Let's. Oh man, there's a lot of opportunities here, but I'm scared.
As you have every right to be.
And we both shuffled our decks, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible thing to do.
I've had it happen at the first Gen Con tournament, I think twice, because there were just that many duels.
Maya de la Rioja has moved up to the forums.
A rapier on Bastion.
He's gassing up. Well, I'm here. I've got winning amount of renown. Let's move. I think I'm in the tough spot here where I need to know where you guys are going, but all you're doing is loading up at home, and I hate that. I need to start some fights, and I need to start them quickly because I've got to whittle you down. But Horatio's back; he's only got 1 wound. Sir Jack can move up and knock me around the board a bit. I feel like at this point I'm stuck just moving Sanjay up to this location.
Okay. Toss Avante to put a main gauche on Bastion.
Feel like he is aiming to be a problem.
It's very possible.
Let's. And you got plenty of that. Now, do I spend some money to try to give Sanjay a little bit of juice?
course.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I give Sanjay the juice that is the Silver Spine and make it so that he can't be targeted. He's got +1 resolve. It's just I gotta pitch 2 cards for it. And I'm ahead on cards right now. I could probably afford it. The answer is yeah, and I don't love doing it, but it's going to be the Unsanctioned Duel and the Improvising that I pitched to put the Silver Spine onto Sanjay, absolutely Voltroning him. He is now at 9 resolve, and each day, the first time an opponent's wrist targets equipped character, cancel the effects. So that could stop all kinds of cool things.
All right.
And I've done a little soft pass there, so now you've got to do something, and I didn't have to commit Celine yet.
All right. Horatio moves up.
All right, saw this coming. Hate that. So,
Horatio's here to soften somebody up.
Mm-hmm. How many cards do you have in hand again?
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. So I've really just got to survive a fight between Horatio, and then over there it looks like Bastion has a Mastercrafted Rapier and a main Gauche equipped, so he's got 2 means to get Technique +1 riposte.
Who's the Sanjay now, Carl?
Not me, buddy. Not me. Over here, Horatio has the means by which he can get 1 riposte, and he's going to gamble an additional card with the Double Jonas Bones. Yeah. Here's the deal. I hate doing it. I must do it. And... oh, God, this sucks so hard. Taunt. And when I have to pitch Elgato's Mask for it. I'm playing Taunt. Target this is the 3rd time I played it across 4 days.
Wow.
Target an adjacent enemy character, move them to your performer's location. So the Jacinto you sent out in an island is now staring down Horatio.
I could massacre him in rage.
You could. You could totally massacre him.
Which would be very fun.
It'd be very funny. I'd get my 1 gamble, we'd move along.
Yeah. I'm considering... yeah, otherwise you're just going to have Giacinto move them both.
I love having 2 more.
Else.
I love having 2 more influence of the forms right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Horatio is just going to turn sideways and do his level best to annihilate Giacinto in rage.
Sending 3 at him?
Sending 3.
Let's gamble. I don't think I've got any parry outs in here. All right, I am a scoundrel. I am going to use the scoundrel maneuver, which is...
he is a scoundrel and a diplomat and an academic.
Hey,
Giacinto is a champion among men.
He is. He's very learned and kind of nasty. I'm going to riposte 2. Parry nothing, thrust 1, and I have no combat, but here's what I'm going to do. Scoundrel maneuver. If the adversary gambles during their next round, you choose their combat card.
Sure.
So that's the scoundrel maneuver. I'll bring it up so people can see on stream. This is one of the new ones. I like this one. We've already had some people say they don't love it. It's proper drama. This is part of the trifecta in there with, Life in the Canals, in there with Gold or Steel. This is the, each one of those tackles 2 of the main traits, Duelist, Scoundrel, and Pirate, and does a combination of 2. I love this card.
That's very funny. Okay. Yeah, he gambles 3. Come hither
2.
or Broken Time. You're probably not going to choose that one.
We're not doing that.
Heroic Intervention.
We will go ahead and use your Heroic Intervention and the Broken Time. Actually, here's the thing. No, I want the Broken Time at the bottom of the deck for sure. Go ahead and use your Heroic Intervention. You can sync those 2.
Right.
So, you're going to riposte 1. Oh, I've got 1 wound on me.
Yep.
Riposte 1, parry 1, thrust 2.
Yep. And I will use his technique to bounce another.
Oh my gosh, goodness gracious.
I really want Giacinto toast.
That's okay, Jacinto's done. He'll just die. He's not going to play any more combat cards. He'll take his 3 wounds and expire. So that's it for him. He goes to the locker.
Mm-hmm.
But got him out of the way. So now it's my turn. You pass tempo to me here.
I sure did.
You've got, let's see, 4... You've got so much finesse that Celine Elgato's city action is kind of not helpful. Which puts me into a position.
I have 8 finesse at home right now.
You're going to walk up with Bastion, create a problem for me. Jack is going to come in and try to move us, and we don't love that. But I've got some people who can bounce back from said move. Of course, once he walks up, I'm going to have to just kill him. How many cards do you have in hand?
Jazz hands.
Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. What the hell are we going to do, Derek? Yeah, Celine moves up.
Celine moves up.
Celine moves up. I've got to put myself in a position to take this location from you.
Oh, all right. Bastion moves up.
All right. I have to try to delete Bastion.
You have to do your level best.
And you get no cards in hand?
Jazz hands.
Okay. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Maya issues a challenge to Bastion. I'm going to send 3 threat at him.
All right. Bastion must accept because he only has 3 resolve. Let's galamble. 1, 2. Yeah, Valiant Spirit. So I am going to use.
I suppose you're going to use a technique for +1 riposte.
Yep, I'm going to engage it just to show that I've used it.
Yeah, all right.
So bounce 1, bounce another, block 1, send 2.
All right, I'm going to do something really cruel. Ready for this?
Ready.
I'm going to play proper drama.
Goodness.
I'm going to riposte 2. I played it from hand.
Sure.
Riposte, parry none, thrust 1. I'm going to take 2 wounds. I'm going to use this duelist maneuver. The adversary cannot gamble during the next round.
Oh, ow.
Yeah.
Woof.
I'm going to bring that up. I don't love that, actually. I don't love that. I mean, it's the perfect storm to use it under,
Yeah,
but I
this
don't
is
love it.
the perfect circumstance.
It's sending exactly as much as I need to wound him.
Yeah.
Duelist maneuver. The adversary cannot gamble during their next round. Derek has no cards in hand, and I sent Bastion the perfect amount of threat to kill him.
Can I use his technique to bounce 1?
You'd have to play a combat card to add to it to do it. Here's the thing. This, I don't know how I feel about this. This is really good. Let's see what people say in the chat.
I mean, bravo.
Oh, that's exactly the kind of stuff that Castille needs, is what Coxetrus says.
Yeah.
This is so right. He has no cards in hand because of the set of choices that came to be. Oh, no. All right. It does exist with Mista. Mista's a bit different because Mista's telegraphed on a technique that everybody can see on the board, whereas this is a sneaky thing from hand. This may need to be like a nerf to RPT or something, but
Or you could make it yet another gambling maneuver.
we could, but I don't want to disrupt the trifecta unless we made them both. Here, do you want to do gambling duelist maneuver?
Yeah, gambling duelist.
Double trade. I hate double trading it. We could though. We're gonna flag that. We're gonna chat about it. It's literally the best scenario. Enter it moves in Castille, bleeding the hand all the way. That's either rare or a terrible play experience. All right, poor Bastion.
Bastion, and he had Mastercraft Rapier and Main Gauche.
Yeah, it was that was the worst experience there. And I've got 2 wounds. Ouchie.
Yeah, I'm ouched. I'm ouched for certain. Okay. Yeah, Jack's got to move up. Don't have a choice.
I have to kick his ass right now.
You have to try.
Because if I don't kick his ass, I'm going to get moved all about and junk.
It's
and
very
if you
possible.
move Sanjay out of here, I'm going to be very sad.
It's very possible I can move Sanjay out of there. Likely even. So
I've got how much influence of this location? I've got 5 influence of this location, but it's not enough. If I issue a challenge, it's also not going to be enough. So here's what I think I need to do.
Go for it.
I'm going to use when least expected. Oh, I should probably turn this thing off.
Oh yeah.
Buff Bastion. So I'm going to use when least. Here's the board state. He's moved Sir Jack up to the forums. I'm going to use when least expected. City action. Engage your performer. That's going to be Sanjay. I'm going to issue a 3 finesse challenge to Sir Jack Harding. And Sir Jack, if you decline this challenge, I'm going to collect a renown from the location.
Indeed.
And I'm a duelist. So you can actually... Oh, this gets worse.
Yep.
Because you can only decline it by discarding a card. So you don't have any cards to discard, so you kind of must accept.
Yep. That's what I get for...
This all goes back to being nice about Jean. See how it came back to bite you?
This comes back to I really wanted to load up my hand with or load up my dudes and Voltron them and then really beat down the door. But
No.
I should have realized, I'm playing Castille. I need cards to discard or bad things happen.
That's becoming more true, and I also drew the basically. I had both proper dramas with the last two cards I had. They're both
I
top.
should have just moved Jack up, and then Giacinto has to move him, or I kick Giacinto away.
Mm-hmm. No, I think what you do with Horatio is good with the information you had, because you didn't know I had taunt.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, you taking this fight?
Jack must take the fight.
He can't decline unless he discards a card.
So, he is a diplomat, but it doesn't matter. I can't do the maneuver because
The answer is unsanctioned. Yeah, so you're going to riposte one, parry one, thrust one. You'll take one. And now Sanjay's going to gamble, revealing 1 and 2 and 3 cards because of the Gallegos Blade.
Mm-hmm.
That's so many cards. So I could use this Gold or Steel, which I'm totally going to use. I do love using Life in the Canals, but drawing the card isn't super helpful right now. Gold or Steel is actually going to riposte a total of 3, just 2. And then we're going to thrust 2.
Ooch.
And this is also a finesse challenge. Not that it makes much difference for Jack, who's a 4-2-2-2 all the way. But I do have a duelist maneuver on here. It says, if I have more finesse than the adversary, I do. You can take a wound. And if you don't, I draw a card.
Draw that card?
I'm going to draw that card. And you've got 4 in front of you right now.
All right. Final duel for final gamble. Gonna try to trade here. Really wish that I could do the Battle of Wits maneuver again. That would be pretty cool to do 4 lethal, but I don't really need to do 4 lethal. So we're gonna do Cavalier Hat. And
Post 2, thrust 2, so you're gonna take 2.
Take 2.
All right, let's gamble again. 1 and 2 and 3. Man, the Gallegos Blade on Sanjay is just a nasty thing to have. Not adaptable. I don't want to pay for it. Not that. So it's going to be the Night of Drinking, which is going to riposte 1 and 2 and 3, because +1 was Sanjay. Thrust 1, which means Sanjay takes 1.
Sanjay's in the danger zone.
Sanjay is 2 away, because the Silver Spine is putting him at 9 resolve.
Yep. And I'm out of gambles. I'm out of cards in hand. Jack is toast.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Goodbye, Sir Jack.
To the locker with you.
To the locker with ye. All right. I have no choice. Odette saunters onto the scene.
So, I am going to have Celine issue a challenge.
For sure.
But you know what would be even funnier? Is if I issue an influence challenge with Sanjay. That'd be even funnier, wouldn't it?
Do it.
And I've got more. I'm going to do it. Now, this is not the best play. The best play is Celine. We all acknowledge that. So now we're going to have fun. I'm going to issue an influence challenge to Odette. My influence on Sanjay is 2, so I'm going to send 2 threat to you. Now, if you decline this, I'm going to collect a renown from the location.
And die.
I'm
going to accept and move my...
My man, let's go.
All or nothing.
All or nothing.
All right, so 4 gambles. Let's go. Okay, well, Fraternity is a good choice, and Diplomatic Impunity is not, because I don't have cards in hand.
All right, 2 coming at me.
2 coming at you.
Let's ride the gamble train. Oh, these go away. Let's ride the gamble train, revealing 3. We got Passionate, Curious. Man, am I going to Curious? Or Taunt? So if I Curious as the gambling maneuver, I will take a wound, and I will have 1 wound left.
Hot.
And I will riposte 4. But I don't need to riposte 4. I don't need to riposte, because I'm +1 to anything I gamble. I'd love to do it.
And you only have 2 threat on you.
Pardon me?
So you may have surplus
it's not worth
riposte. So
it wouldn't be worth it. I'm going to do this one. It's going to riposte 1, because Sanjay gambled. Parry 2, and then thrust 1 and 2 and 3.
Ouch. I think Odette's toast. We'll see. I literally don't think there's anything in this whole deck that can save
there's
her.
one more thing I'm going to do.
Oh, okay.
So let me bring this
Let's
back
keep
here.
it going.
So you had 2 at me, right?
Yeah.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my technique here. -1 parry. During their adversary's next round, they reveal 1 less card when they gamble.
Oh,
you get 1. I'm giving you 1, Derek. And then I will post 1, parry 2, but I'm only parry 1. And then I will thrust 3. And you reveal 1 card. What is it?
Wait. Did you take a wound or no?
Oh, no, I didn't have to.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm +1. You sent 2 to me. I'm +1 riposte.
Oh, that's true.
That's the gamble cards. Yep.
All right, so I only gamble 1.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Here's a game. Another. Yeah.
All right.
It's just toast.
Well, there we go. Good game. It was obviously
GG.
a game with new cards. I think Sanjay is probably a little generously balanced right now. I think we're probably going to talk about him as a design team, but I might be the outlier, and Coyote and Sogai might start screaming in a minute. Let's see what the chat says. I'm hearing Croy say Buff Bastion. Mostly that we had to define. I don't think we've actually defined swap yet. People have just figured it out. If Lorenzo uses a technique and then uses proper drama's duelist maneuver when the opponent has no cards in hand, does the adversary take the extra wound because they didn't discard a card to play the top of the... You've asked a complicated question. If Lorenzo uses his technique and then uses proper drama's duelist maneuver, which says that you cannot gamble, so I don't think anything necessarily change. If they don't have any cards to discard, I think they're probably just going to take the wound and then take all threat as wounds. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, then they're going to take all threat as wounds, and they're going to suffer a wound for not doing the thing. Yes, correct. I think you got that right. I'm going to take a second here. It might be a little like 9:30 for you.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to do one tonight because we dragged it out. But here's what we will do. I'm going to put these cards up again.
Hey, we got through the whole deck.
We got through the whole deck. I got through my whole deck. You got through your whole deck.
Yeah.
We can put the cards up and chat about them again. So first of all, I'll put these back up. Sanjay and Celine. What are your thoughts, Derek, after sitting across from it?
Oh man, let's actually go down the line. Let's start with Sanjay.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that Sanjay is obviously you have to compare him to other very combat heavy leaders. Like the obvious comparison is Yevgeny.
Yeah.
Yevgeny is extremely durable. He's getting +1 thrust all the time. Sanjay is a little bit more durable than the average bear, and he is effectively blocking 1, thrusting 1 every gambled card. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's equivalent enough that I'm not really bothered. He does have a lot of really stylish tags. I think his stats are very well balanced. I wouldn't change any of those. But I do think his resolve may need to go down from 8 to 7.
I'm with you. I'm actually absolutely with you.
Because, like, 7 is sort of the magic number of, do I need to worry about Relentless? Because one 3 combat fight you can deny and still have 4.
Yep.
But if there's a Relentless, then you're in the danger zone. But if you're at 8, you can safely decline a duel, and you'll still have 4 resolve left over, which means you can trade back and forth pretty safely.
The other thing to consider is that like a +1 riposte on a technique is even just +1 parry, like on Pavel. Pavel's got technique +1 parry. Mm-hmm. That is like having +1 health in combat. It is like that. And Sanjay says, I'm going to do that thrice, baby. I'm going to get within 1 duel. It depends on how long it goes, but up to 3 times. I can.
Rarely does it go past 3 cards.
Yeah, and well, there's some extra caveats too, because not all cards are going to have 0 or higher riposte. Some of them have dash. So I'm sometimes going to have to make less than optimal decisions in order to benefit from my +1 riposte, which I'm going to want to do every time, because you can do it up to 3 times, and I want to get that gamble every time. Mm-hmm. So there is kind of a secondary cost in that way. But like, hey, you're getting that much extra health a game is pretty spicy. Here's all the cards in case you want to look at them.
Yeah. And his city action, I very much like. His riposte on gambling that I very much like. I might make if a challenge is refused, I might make that a city reaction.
Yeah, I would just make it like a reaction. You could limit it.
Not much opportunity to use it at home, but who knows?
The first thing I do is definitely drop him from 8 to 7 resolve, but like that might be the minority. And we got 3 designers, and if they both disagree, then he's staying at 8 for a bit.
All right.
But I think 7 feels good. I'm less worried about him getting that renown because you got to decline the duel. And
Yeah.
frankly, when somebody's just sending 2,
Yeah, like, and playing against a parry out deck, like if I was to do a really heavy, like, obviously the elephant in the room is always Vadachi.
yeah,
So it's unfortunate that we needed to design all these cards around the peak Vadachi deck. Just like, okay, well, then the entire new cards need to consider what would Hayes do.
Hey, we got some questions here. Tara says Lorenzo is good, always has been. I like him in spirit. I want folks to heal. I want folks to want to heal Sanjay. I totally did, Brian. I wanted to heal Sanjay, and I really was lamenting that Siesta came out of this deck. Why? Because I took these cutout cards and I slotted them right over other stuff. Tara asks, I think, like, Carl, is the Cat's Glass in this deck? The answer is no. It was replaced with Elgato's Mask. So I did cut the Cat's Glass, and not because I didn't want it, just because I threw this together rather quickly to see new cards. Castille doesn't need any more fair cards. Maybe right. I'm still intimidated by some of the dueling they're capable of doing. Because it is a fourth gamble.
As Tom has shown us.
Tara brings up if you can get the Cat's Glass onto Sanjay, it's a fourth gamble. And the Cat's Glass is, I mean, it's a spicy card. I don't see it equip all that often because it is a pricey card. I think it's 2 cost. But Cat's Glass, when a character at this location accepts a challenge, engage this card for the rest of the duel. While the adversary is at this location, they reveal 1 less card when gambling. So you're just gambling 1 card the rest of the time against Sanjay.
So scary.
And then I can use Gaia Ghost Blade to say you have 1 less card, and now when you gamble, you reveal 0.
Which is terrible. And the other thing to consider, Sanjay feels very strong against fight decks.
Mm-hmm.
Against parry out decks, you saw earlier that, Sanjay went sideways, and I said, Tabard of the Fallen Musketeer, no.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
I've got to answer. That's what Raise the Stakes for. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, you've got to use Raise the Stakes, or you've got to use the duel, unsanctioned duel, or just like, okay, I'm just going to Relentless. So, how he feels against fight decks is very strong. How he feels against parry out decks, we will see. Tell you what, next time, I'm just going to bring Hayes' Vadachi deck.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to play it as well as Hayes will.
Well, when we have Montaigne done, I'm going to have you pilot that deck on stream, and then you can beat the crap out of me with the new cards.
Fantastic. The one, and this is an aside. I know we're focusing on Castille now, but one thing I just want to put it out there, since we have designers listening, the one thing that Montaigne fight specifically, I think Montaigne diplomacy is roughly fine where it is. Maybe some synergy with having musketeers at the same location, because I would like to see more of them sort of synergizing with each other rather than like their current sort of semi-siloed play style.
Yeah, good thinking.
But the thing that I really want more than anything is another way to grab an incredibly wounded leader from home and pull them. Besides pull, like, really, I just want another set of pull to grab a leader from home and drag them kicking and screaming back into the fight.
We're definitely going to bring some Porte cards in. Fantastic. There's going to be, I think, 1 or 2 Porte cards. We've got Diplomat Arc to use, so I'd love to see like a good Diplomat Musketeer merge.
And the one thing that I was actually talking about this with Doji, really just want to see a card where Max just rips all the blood out of somebody.
He might have trouble doing that now.
He might. He needs it now. Rip him out of you, put it in him.
What do you think about Celine?
Celine is perfect. Like, her stats being average is great. Her being a scoundrel pirate is great for many combat card reasons. Her reaction is good. I wouldn't change the reaction, because otherwise, if it's like, as you said, if you get a mercenary, she runs away, which doesn't really make sense. Or if an ally comes in and she runs away, that doesn't really make sense. It gives her the ability to be elusive, which once again, you've mentioned right from the get-go, the fluff and the crunch need to dovetail with each other, and I think this is very good on fluff and crunch.
The one thing about their city reaction is it's after an enemy character moves to their location that they can move to any location, and moving Celine to any location is nice.
Yeah.
But you're giving the control to the opponent. And that's a fair criticism. I think actually Tom brought that up, and a few other people in the Invisible College playtest group brought up that
counter argument taunt.
Yeah, counter. Yeah, I mean, you can't. Yes, taunt would be great because there's tools that exist. At the same time, I think that moving Celine up, I think really made a statement when I brought Celine up. I think day 3 to the forums, I mean the docks.
Yeah, it's an intimidation tactic, much like me bringing Horatio day 1 to the forums. The threat is enough.
I think the big thing that Celine can do is the finesse pressure, and admittedly, I brought Celine in because I wanted to see how Celine would play.
Yep.
I had an idea, but Celine ended up being better than I expected. But then you had Bastion with 4 finesse, and then you had Odette with 4 finesse.
Yeah,
and I'm not really getting the mileage out of Castilian Caper or Celine with that lineup.
I see this as extremely valuable against Eisen specifically because Eisen generally has
low
finesse.
Yeah,
and they have these incredibly dangerous fight characters. I'm not going to say duelists because they only have the one.
Yeah,
but they have very dangerous fighting characters. They have I've seen hunters coming in.
Yeah,
to chase people down. So Celine moving one over slower characters is great, especially since that gives a reason to once again bring Lorenzo out with his 4 boots.
Yeah,
he's got boots on his hands.
He does. It's a tough thing to get the utility out of that, but I think that Celine will probably stay this way for a bit longer. Obviously, we got to get more playtest games in.
So I will say I like Celine in her current incarnation personally. I think there's a lot of use for it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of it.
And with least expected, I also love. 2 renowned, incredibly moderate initiative, no panache change. It a way to fight on your terms. Again, more love for Lorenzo, and the one thing now here's an obvious comparison. I'll put this on the stream. Let's compare.
Oh, you're blocked.
This.
The card's up.
Okay. Let's compare this to Epee, because Epee is the obvious comparison. It's another scheme that forces a fight. So
yeah, but Epee doesn't require an engage.
Epee doesn't require an engage.
Yep.
And low initiative, low panache.
Yep. So they keep the speed. They don't get the panache bonus, and we're actually tightly controlling that because of how Sanjay behaves. I mean, just it's always a tough matchup for Asura with 5.
And I feel like when least expected, even though this is for a fight deck, I feel like it's more valuable with Celine as a leader.
It's very valuable, Celine as a leader. Yeah, it's a card that can be used like Celine. If Celine can get +1 finesse from anything, now Celine is able to issue a challenge and really mess people up.
And is also lowering the finesse of her opponent. So if you were to have Celine and Lorenzo, now it's okay, I am going to throw a challenge on even footing to Yevgeny.
Yeah, Yevgeny would hate that.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. Yevgeny would be down to 1 boot, and maybe he just eats 4.
Yeah, and we talked about, like, it's nice to have this as on a scheme as opposed to from hand. Like, it's still really nice to have you cheated. I hate using you cheated because I play against you mostly. You're my primary opponent, and you play a lot of high finesse.
Love to do it.
We got some chats here talking about the uniqueness of the Cat's Glass. Tara says, I don't use it with Celine as a leader, but 100% would for this Sanjay. That's awesome. We love taking other cards and making them a bit more relevant. Doji asks, are we getting more new cards on next week's stream? No. No, we gave you this, Doji. I'm kidding. You will be getting new cards. Will they be next week? I don't know. I don't know yet. We will be showing off each faction on stream as we feel good about them. Right now, the 2 that we are having in testing are Castille and Eisen. And that's it right now. Next, I think we're working on Badachi is the next thing we're touching. Then some Montaigne, maybe Assura last. Sorry, Assura people. I'm an Assura main, so I feel your pain. But we will be showing off cards whenever we can so that you guys can see them, get excited, and get hype, and come in and talk to us and hang out. And then Tara says, we have three finesse on 2 characters and 4 on 1, and Unfortunate can debuff finesse. Yes, I love Unfortunate. So I think, especially with the win on a tie, the reaction is going to land more often than not. Right on. And then we've got some more chat here. Scott says, Celine loves finesse challenges. I think when least expected, we'll find a home in a Celine deck as well, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I really think it has a place in both.
Let's talk about our other 2 attachments that we played with. Torres Cloak. Derek, what do you think about Torres Cloak? I didn't get to... it didn't fire.
Torres Cloak, again, this is... Torres Cloak and the Mask.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about Torres Cloak. The obvious, the slot, quote unquote, for Torres Cloak is, let's compare it to Mangosh. So that's the obvious comparison because it takes up the same slot.
Yeah, and they both can only be equipped to a duelist.
Yeah, it has better RPT. Both of them are offhand. Both of them are only duelist. It's cheaper. It has better RPT.
Mm-hmm.
A technique versus a reaction.
Yeah, technique can be used multiple times, obviously.
Yeah, technique can be used multiple times. Reaction is just once.
Yep.
And shutting down a resolve or a maneuver, that is half the reason folks take Let the Sword Decide, and for the same reason as Let the Sword Decide, because I have used Let the Sword Decide to shut down so much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much it warms my heart to use Let the Swords Decide to shut down the entirety of Fortunate?
Oh yeah, yeah,
it feels wonderful.
The thing about Let the Sword Decide, we were really hoping, hey, are we going to displace Let the Sword Decide? That was a conversation that Brian Curry and I had. And I think we quickly decided no, because Let the Sword Decide can be used globally, anywhere, anytime. Mm-hmm. Whereas this can only be used on that one character. And the idea behind Taurus Cloak is a way for you to defend yourself against a Grandfather's Hammer +2 thrust technique, defend yourself against stuff like the new Caspar. The new Caspar is going to have some cool stuff that he can do with a technique that can just wound you, be able to stop all kinds of stuff that can auto-wound you. Murder. You can use this to stop the maneuver on murder, and that's saying something. Mm-hmm. So you can use it defensively. You can also use it offensively if you want to stop, and I'm done with you. Can stop broken time.
Now, wording question. It says specifically when equipped participant's adversary would resolve a maneuver or technique.
Yes.
That is after cost?
Yes, it would be after cost. That's the first thing. The next thing would be that the reason it says that specifically is because of a funky timing issue where Yevgeny, actually Horatio's a better example, Horatio issues a challenge, does the technique on the challenge. Well, we're not adversaries of each other yet, which means this doesn't work until the resolve step, which you resolve it once I become your adversary. Funky wording. I think the intention's there. I think people can see it, but that's why it says resolve as opposed to announce, which is our typical thing to stop those.
Okay, because when it says resolve, that tells me, oh, okay, I could pay for diplomatic impunity maneuver, and then Torres Cloak cancels it after I've discarded a card, which is dirty. Mm-hmm. Or, Serenth Hand, take a wound, and then, oh, nope, sorry, I still get my full block.
Yeah, you can do that.
So, because the wording is resolve, and that's after cost.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's good. You just have to have it equipped when you're fighting somebody with the thing, and
it dovetails with, okay, you're going to bleed more cards.
Yeah. It's also telegraphed. Stopping a maneuver or technique from hand, just like a cancel card, is something, I think we talked about it, the design team, but it's something I don't think we're too keen on right now because it's kind of that gotcha. And there are some gotcha cards, like Relentless is a gotcha card. Yeah. But things are pretty telegraphed in this game. We do try to reduce those. Dirty is how Castille fights, Derek.
That's true.
Croy comes with a great maneuver. Activate a technique on your participant even if it's already been used this duel. That'd be fun.
Well, say again.
Maneuver. Activate a technique on your participant even if it has already been used this duel.
Nice.
Elgato's Mask.
Oh, well, that's Dame of Swords.
Yeah, Dame of Swords is a technique that lets you use a different technique. We don't have a maneuver that lets you use a technique, though. You know?
That's Broken Time.
Anyway. Broken Time does let you use 2 maneuvers. Yeah. And then we got Elgato's Mask, which is probably potentially a little generously balanced right now. I mean...
This really feels like a 2-cost to me because it does everything. It's got wonderful RPT, which goes well with the new Sanjay. It gives a +1 to influence, which, influence in Castille on average is pretty middle of the road. And I don't have a problem with that, but equipped character gains Scoundrel. Now, I and specifically Calf over here have really screamed for keyword fixing, and this does keyword fixing, and I love that. I love it. I really want that to stay in the final incarnation. I'm going to say that loud and proud. The gambling technique, is locked, keyword locked to gambling. However, if you have real 2 random cards from the hand, any of them were attachments, discard them. I don't have a problem with any of these things individually, but all of them together for one is incredible value.
Unique. It's also unique.
It is a unique.
So when I put this side by side with Upman's Jacket, one of them's better, and it's Elgato's Mask. Sometimes we do things that are thematic, flavorful, and a little generously balanced. We can do that. We do that sometimes. We don't love to have flat-out replacements necessarily. It does happen here and there with an expanding game. The gambling technique, I view it and go, this might hit occasionally. It might discard a card, but I'm also not getting the action like from Upman's Jacket to discard a card and draw a card. Just, filtering's great. That could trigger. It might not trigger. It is literally a dig through your pockets. I have to gamble. I have to have more finesse. I'm going to reveal 2 cards, and I might not even discard anything.
It's very clearly, once again, made for Lorenzo. There's a lot of Lorenzo love here, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I'd love if we had a storyline where Lorenzo started wearing the mask and everybody thought that Lorenzo was Elgato. But
there you go.
There we go. That's the whole side story there. Unique and faction locked.
And I really hope that upsets Sanjay.
And yes, Croy points out 1/2/1 is new. 1/2/1 is new. It is the best variation on the Block 3 Send 2 RPG out there.
I really would feel more comfortable if this is a 1/1/1.
I know you would. I know you would.
That's just my 2 cents.
What if it was a 0/3/2? And this does a -3/2.
A -3/2 would be just fine.
What's the difference?
Sanjay would be the difference.
Well, if it were a dash, you couldn't add. If it were 0/3/2, Sanjay could add. The other thing is with a riposte of 1, now Maya can subtract 1 riposte to make the opponent discard a card.
Yeah, that's also true.
We got some openings.
Right. Yeah, I think Elgato's Mask is a little high on the hog right now.
Let's talk about these 2, Curious and Passionate.
All right. Oh, that was mine. Look.
Curious, wound your performer, move to an adjacent location controlled by an opponent. This card scares me. This card really scares me.
I am extremely comfortable with Curious right now.
It's funny, you and I are opposite on Elgato's Mask and Curious, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah, well, we're trying to find something in the middle. Or you're on the design team. You just screw this Derek guy. What does he know?
Never.
Silver medal. What I can. So. Number 2 in the world, I'm gonna ask Tom. So let's go down the line. 0 cost, as we mentioned earlier, Castille has the most 0 costs of any faction.
Yeah,
so this is in line.
You gotta maintain the card advantage. Yeah.
So 1/0/1, yeah, okay. Sanjay can bump that up to effectively a 0/2/3.
Yeah, Sanjay can. Well, if you gamble it.
Yeah, he can even it out. And, gambling maneuver, wound your performer, +2 riposte, and the thing is, I'm fine with the +2 riposte because that assumes that you have a ton of threat on you. If you've only got 1 or 2 threat on you,
Not really worth it.
much of this is wasted.
Yeah, because let's say you've got 3 threat in front of you.
Yeah, so it's opportunity cost.
If you have 3 threat in front of you, and you take a wound, you're going to be a block 3 send 4, but because you've taken a wound, it is as though it is a block 2 send 4, and that's Cat's Glass, that's Gold or Seal, but only under the circumstances that you had 3 threat in front of you. If you've got 2 threat, it's like a block 1 send 4. Right? Actually, not less than that, actually, because at that point, if you've got 2 threat in front of you, you're going to take a wound. Yeah, it's still 4, because you're going to riposte it. You'll send 3. You'll send 3, because you'll riposte the 2 and then thrust 1. So it gets worse and worse the fewer threat in your pool, which is, I think, part of the balancing factor on the gambling maneuver, because the gambling maneuver can hit big.
Yeah.
And block 2 send 4 is nothing to scoff at. It's a really good RPT slot, but if it only happens at 3,
What I like to call the Asuran Classic.
yeah, the Asura Classic is 024 dash 24. Yeah.
There's a lot of Asura cards that are block 2 send 4.
So I feel good about the gambling maneuver. It's just being able to move to a location, and I did get to execute it today. That was very fun.
Here's the thing I feel about the city action. It's wound a performer, which is a big cost when Castille has extremely average resolve. Maybe a little on the low side. I would say moderate. And has to trigger, has to be an adjacent location, has to be controlled by an opponent.
Might be fine. I could just be. I'm just so worried about move effects, but I think they needed. They have Maya who can move.
Yep.
They've got Celine, the leader who can move. Celine, the approach deck character who can move. They have so many cool. Raton can move. They've got a bunch of characters that move, but no way to do it from hand. So this is, I think, something they need, but it's got to be costed right.
Catches them up to the surprise big movements of Eisen.
Yeah,
Because Eisen is so incredibly mobile. And the thing is, it moves an ally, and this can be used kind of as an answer. Like, it isn't exactly sea legs, but in some circumstances, it's better than sea legs. It has the same RPT as sea legs, and it's cheaper than sea legs.
That's true. That's true. It's less controllable than sea legs, but
Yeah.
you make me feel a bit better about it. Eisen's interesting. We were just working on Eisen, and they'll be the next cards that get revealed once I get permission from the rest of the design team.
Sure.
And we actually get them laid out. But they have moves from hand that are quite powerful, but none of their characters outside of like Philip can really move outside of using attachments. So
Yeah. But all of those are gotcha moves.
Yep. Passionate. I did get to leverage Passionate today. And I was happy about it.
Yeah, you got to use you ate every part of the pig. It was great. You used all of it. You used Wily, you used Curious.
I think I used every card.
You used When Least Expected. You used the Mask. I blew up the cloak, but its intimidation factor alone proves that it has value.
I'll be a canned ham. I did use every new card.
You sure did.
All right, we made it happen, Captain.
Yeah.
Let's see what chat says before
Which means that it proves that all of them have value in the current incarnation.
You're not wrong, because I did use them all effectively.
Yes.
Let me see what chat says real quick, because I think we're a little behind. We're 121. Tara says, it is a tire, so at least can't wear ovens along with it or captain's coat. I think 1 is cheap, but 2 feels like too much for it as well. You also can't, I really appreciate in this game that you cannot possibly wear a duelist hat, the cavalier hat, and a coat. I've never seen a man wear a coat and a hat.
Look, that would be like
simultaneously.
that'd be like wearing socks with sandals. Extremely gauche.
Yeah.
No one who would go out in 5 sales would dare create such a fashion faux pas.
Yeah, fashion's very big.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen these hats?
Kappa says, Curious is so perfect. Curious is cool.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable with Curious in its current incarnation.
Should be wound your participant. Ha! He's right. It should be wound your participant. Okay. Good shot, Croy.
Good job.
But the move is necessary because we can't play pull. You're right, you can't play pull, but you got taunt.
Yeah.
And then taunt only hits enemies. It's true. A canned ham. That's my. If I had flavor text, it'd be I'll be a canned ham. Yeah. A hat would cover up the cat ears. It's true. Can't do that. All right. Passionate. What do you? I think that turned out great. I don't have much more to say on it.
The RPT is good. Cost of 1.
They mirror.
Yeah, they mirror quite well. It's duelist and pirate, which comes around. We've got our scoundrel abilities, we have our pirate abilities, we have our duelist abilities.
And we've got 2 great duelist pirates in Maya and Torvo. So both of them can leverage both ends of this very nicely, but there's still...
Some Torvo love is always encouraged.
And what's really cool is that you could do... you could put Lorenzo in play.
And on some, like Torvo, you could do both.
Well, there's actually, I've theory crafted a couple things with this. You've got Torvo, and when least expected. You issue the challenge, somebody intervenes, and then you go, no problem. Torvo stands back up. You got a standing up Torvo. Who loves that? Everybody loves that. You could also do something really neat, which is you equip a Torres cloak to somebody like Maya. And Horatio, let's do Yevgeny with Grandfather's Hammer issues a challenge. Maya intervenes. And she uses the Torres cloak to cancel the reaction on the Grandfather's Hammer. No more +2 thrust. And then plays Passionate to stand up.
Yeah.
And you could just have some really spicy little combo plays happen that I'd be excited about. So
the obvious comparison for Passionate for 1 cost stand up is going through the deck, loading. Galadides. So the obvious comparison is Galadides. Galadides obviously has flawless RPT. Love it. One of my favorite cards. And it stands up 2 people for 1. Stands up an opponent, stands up an ally. Passionate, it is locked. It is keyword locked, which is appropriate. These are 2 common keywords. And let's see, enter your performer intervenes on guard. So having a duelist be able to stand back up after intervening, that effectively gives a duelist 2 fights.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
It's very good. They don't get combat cards from hand.
And if you throw it on Carmella, that's pure money.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't consider all the city deck cards.
You should. We have to. We stare at the spreadsheet.
Yeah. So that's the first thing that came to mind. It's just like, and then Carmella gets in again.
Yeah.
Just keeps fighting.
3 fights for Carmella.
3 fights for Carmella.
I don't think she'll live past the second one, but she could.
I don't think so. But if you Voltron her up, then again, that just means she's just asking to get a more. Anyway, so, and then Pirate Reaction, so your Torvo, your Celine, etc. After your performer's challenge is accepted, and if their adversary intervened, like, say you're trying to go toe-to-toe with Odette, and she's going to have someone intervene every single time if she can help it, and guard your performer. The Pirate Reaction...
I've been trying to get something that on-guards and intervene in for a while. It didn't happen in Tooth and Claw.
Here's the thing. Like, obviously, the big one that comes to mind is Lucas, because already you're probably getting 2 fights out of Lucas. Getting a 3rd fight out of Lucas would be great. But...
That's who I played it on. I played it on Lucas.
Yeah. And it worked perfectly. That square peg slotted into that square hole with 0 room to spare. The thing is, it always comes back to, like, what if you encounter a parry deck, and what if... Because that's the thing. You're
in danger.
Yeah.
Well, if you parry deck, you're just going to... Now you're up again, and you get another fight. You're burning through more parry outs. Eventually, you're going to get some blood in. Yeah. So, I like it a lot. Again, it is very good against other fight decks. And here's the thing. All of these things that I'm seeing means that they can go toe-to-toe very well with Ice, and it means they can go toe-to-toe very well with Montaigne, as we saw. It means they can go toe-to-toe very well with Asura. But, we have to come back to the elephant in the room. Do they have anything that can really go toe-to-toe with a Renowned Focus Vadachi deck? Which is I don't know yet. That's
always something that we need to consider.
We haven't seen Castille Duelists do much in the competitive scene. And we also haven't seen many matchups because of that of competitive duelists against the pacifist-focused Vedachi. So it's possible. Hard to say.
So I think that's what I'll do next Tuesday is I will just rip Hayes' deck card for card.
Yeah.
And,
it's a good deck.
And I will meditate on the mantra, make no mistakes, because Hayes doesn't make mistakes.
He's quite talented.
Yes.
Let's do our last two, and then we'll call it a night here. We got
Sure.
Proper Drama and Wily.
Yeah. So
Proper Drama really that hurt.
Proper Drama was a real champion. So Scoundrel and Duelist going well with the Pirate and Duelist. So Proper Drama and Passionate, getting parity, love it. Zero cost, excellent RPT with the 2-1. Choose like the Scoundrel maneuver of here's what I really love about Proper Drama. It can prevent gambled parryouts. And like if I was to play a parryout deck and you say, okay, I know that Derek has played Odette and Gillian. Okay, he's probably doing a renowned focus deck. I'm going to turn sideways on him. Okay, he is going to... Actually, now that I think about it, because you need to play it.
Yeah.
Going through...
The thing is, the Scoundrel maneuver and Duelist maneuver are effectively doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Because, sort of, like, you actually chose... For me to choose your combat card one time we played when I used it with Jacinto, because it made sense because you didn't want to burn cards in hand. It's like, hey man, go for it. But like if you had a parry out come out, I would have had Horatio use that parry out, and that's pretty cool. The Duelist maneuver is to the point you cannot gamble. The Duelist maneuver, the Scoundrel maneuver says, I urge you not to gamble, but if you do, I have a say in it. And I think the more cautious players will go, that's as good as me saying I'm not gambling. So they more or less kind of do something similar, except that they can potentially behave very differently.
And for zero cost, you get another card out of their hand if you have a duelist, like let's say Torvo.
But it was really nice being able to actually leverage the Scoundrel maneuver to choose your combat card. It could have gone a lot better.
I was flipping 3.
Yeah. Well, I got rid of that broken time. Not that, like...
You sure did.
That wasn't the best situation for it, but there could be situations for it. Let's see what chat's saying here, because we haven't checked in a minute.
Yeah, and there's another thing, because I'm always thinking about those parallel cards, because you have to play it, that means I have to accept the duel, and if I have a pair out in hand, I'm not going to accept the duel. I'm going to accept the duel, and then I'm going to do a pair out, and that'll be the end of it, and you won't get to play Proper Drama.
Yeah.
So this is another instance where against parry outs, it's...
Play Raise the Stakes.
Yeah.
That's what Raise the Stakes is for.
That's what Raise the Stakes is for.
Yeah.
I guess I just want more Raise the Stakes.
Croy's calling out some RPT here, but I'm not sure which card it's on. Scott says, Pirate Duelist is now the most common keyword combo in the game. I'm not surprised. This is a game about the Age of Sail.
Pirates,
Age
pirates
of Sail.
and dueling.
Yeah, granted it's more than that, because it's really the early modern period, late Renaissance, and Age of Sail all together. From a Castille deck building perspective, at least, it's true. There's still quite a bit of Scoundrel play. I think the Scoundrel play for Castille is always going to be more control, and Duelist Pirate. There's still going to be support for Scoundrel. Obviously, some of the stuff that we're putting in is going to help them out. Let's see here. The Pirate reaction seems surprisingly reliable if you choose your targets well. That would be the point.
So, one thing I want on Proper Drama, I would really like if this had the Revelry tag for Rosa.
Oh, it could.
Because Proper Drama, it fits.
Now, some of these names, admittedly, like Proper Drama is a placeholder. It's going to have Vagabundos on it. Life in the Canals has Vagabundos. Golden Steel has Vagabundos. It's going to be a Vagabundo jumping over rooftops. We've got the art for it. It's just in black and white right now. So that's going to be part of the Vagabundo trifecta. And it might end up with a different fighting style on it, because El Puno Alcalado was on Life in the Canals. Oh man, I think we almost did Aldana.
In that case, yeah, I was about to say you might want to just make it an Aldana, because if it's an Aldana, boy howdy, that would really turn up
Yeah,
Torvo. But
Torres.
it might be too much.
Torres is a fighting style that needs the love.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wily, love it, adore it, no notes. A way to survive when someone does a death throws maximum thrust is
it helps
really
when we get
fantastic.
It's going to help when we get art on it too.
Yeah, and if you kill someone, claim a location. I wanted that for Montaigne so bad. I mean, I do have it in
Friends of Court.
Yeah, and having another Friends of Court effect is pretty fantastic. Although it doesn't require a check. I would feel more comfortable if there was a check of some kind, since this does cost 0.
So I think that we're going to see cards like that in almost every faction that say, and this was Croy and Brian. I think it was Croy's push and Brian as well. But like, a Montaigne one could be something like, if the adversary is absent or was destroyed, +2 parry and draw a card. It could be, like Vidachi could get wounded opposing character, right? You could do all kinds of things off of maneuver if the adversary is not there anymore. If they're gone for whatever reason, if they left this fight and I am triumphant, I get to do something really cool. There's so many different ways we can play with it, so we're trying to arrive at the right one for each faction.
Okay.
But so you said you think it should cost 1? Was that what you're saying?
No. I think maybe, because again, I'm comparing it to Friends of Court. Friends of Court requires an influence check.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So maybe a finesse check.
You claim the location, maybe too potent. Like claiming the location is big.
That's why I want to say claim the do a boots check if you succeed claiming the location.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, like a finesse check. Yeah. Excuse me. All right. Well, we've gone through just about everything.
We have gone through everything.
Yeah. Oh, we have gone through everything. I want Wily's winding potential to follow a fleeing adversary. That's cute. That could be like a predatory pursuit play. I don't know how much room that would take, but we can explore that.
There's only a few instances where someone has the ability to run away. There's hidden corridors.
Yep, there's Daniela's technique.
And I think that's it.
No, Matushka's efficiency. Because Matushka's command moves. Matushka's efficiency will let you move. It moves you both, though, in the fight, I believe. That one, I don't see that maneuver get popped very often. I usually see people use the city action to move. But, all right, Tara says the timing of Wily as a maneuver might be enough of a limitation. Could be. It's just got to be used at that one point. And the base RPT ain't great. So, like, part of the cost of putting that in your deck is I gambled the 2 riposte.
That is also very true.
And, 2 riposte looks cool. It's better than 1/1/1. It's better than 0/2/2. I just like how it looks. But, like, it is also a 2-dash. No parry adding, no thrust adding. It is just a 2 riposte.
Yeah.
We can make it worse. We can make it like a nice 1/1/0. Like give it like a one of the personal cards. Nothing personal, like bad RPT like that.
Kind of personal.
That's a new card. Kind of personal.
Kind of personal. Somewhere in the middle.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up tonight. Everybody, thank you for coming in and checking out these new cards. We will be back next week getting another game in. After that, we might actually take a short break from streaming. I'm getting married, so I'm not going to be available.
Yay!
But we'll be right back at it in October after we take a brief hiatus after next week. So thank you all for joining us, and have a great night.
Bye-bye.